Covered?
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
What's that?
It's Pepto-Bismol Chews.
Pepto-Bismol's in a chew?
Yeah, they taste great and provide fast relief. And you can always have Pepto-Bismol handy.
Ooh, let me try it.
Try Pepto-Bismol Chews for fast relief.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey Pirate fans, Clip Rock here. Join us one final time this football season on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. ECU takes on SMU Saturday at noon. We get underway here at Pirate Radio at 8 a.m. on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. And after the game, we'll take your calls on the US Cellular 5th quarter call-in show. The show will not end until the last caller is served. Tune in Saturday, 8 a.m. for the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate right here on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
Did you know your small change can make a difference? The next time you visit McDonald's, please consider rounding up for the Ronald McDonald House. Your change adds up and can help many folks in Eastern North Carolina. Just $10 can provide a free night stay for families with sick children here in Eastern North Carolina and across the state. Just ask your cashier at checkout or choose to round up for RMHC when ordering through the McDonald's app. Thank you for visiting your local McDonald's owned by Dixon Foods and for your support of the Ronald McDonald House of Eastern North Carolina.
This is Dr. Anthony Scalick from Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center of Greenville. We offer a variety of services including arthroscopic surgery, sports medicine, carpal tunnel surgery, general orthopedics, fracture care, total joint replacement, physical therapy, and on-site MRIs. For experienced and professional medical care, visit our office on W.H. Smith Boulevard in Greenville and online at orthoeast.com. Orthopedics East, providing services to ECU and Pitt County athletics for over 35 years. Go Pirates!
Domino's week-long carry-out deal means you can carry out 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each every day. That's right, $7.99 each, and every day means any day. But just in case there's any confusion, we've set up a helpful website to confirm if today's a day you can carry out 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each at Domino's. Just go to howabouttoday.com to find out if Domino's week-long carry-out deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carry out only. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, and charges may vary. Excludes extra large and specialty pizzas. Crust availability varies by size.
2020 certainly hasn't been the year many of us were hoping for, but one thing has stayed the same. I'm Tim Sutton with Greenville Auto World, and our commitment to our customers has never wavered. Let Greenville Auto World show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Greenville. We believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Your vehicle is a big investment, and our customers trust us to keep them up and running with outstanding service and value. We're Greenville Auto World, across from Hardee's at Bells Fork.
Bostic Sugg Furniture is overstacked and overstocked. Overflowing inventory means clear out prices. Hurry in and take advantage of the biggest and best deals throughout our showroom. Save up to 20% off the best furniture brands: Lazy Boy, Bassett, Kincaid, Rowe, and Restonic mattresses. Plus, just for this sale, 12 months special financing or choose 48 months special financing. There's savings on top of savings. We're overstacked and overstocked, and that means big savings for you at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
Hello, Pirate Nation. This is Corey Scott, former ECU baseball All-American. During my playing days, I specialized on the field as a closer. Now, as your mortgage loan officer, I am once again specializing in closing. But this time, I am closing for you, not just the Pirates. At Movement Bank, we offer portfolio loans such as 100% doctor loans with no PMI, home equity lines of credit, and jumbo loans, all at historically low rates. Contact me today, and I will be your closer. Call Coach Corey at 378-5252. That's 378-5252. And go Pirates.
You've seen it on TV, and now you can experience it for yourself. Introducing the Warrior Zone, Greenville's first and ever only Ninja Warrior training facility. This is John from the Warrior Zone, where community, fun, and fitness collide. We offer weekly ninja training classes, memberships, one-on-one coaching, competition teams, and open gym. Not a ninja? No problem. We work with everyone and want people to feel encouraged when they leave Warrior Zone. Make your life better with Ninja Fun at the Warrior Zone. Old Tall Road, next to Plant and See at warriorzone.ninja.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
2020 is, it keeps on sending us plenty of curveballs. So what a great job today to be able to get a win on the road against a team that we have not beaten in conference play in the past. The kids were very hard to practice this week. We had some adversity with some guys out. I had a couple of guys making their first college start on the offensive line. Walt Scribbling, true freshman, in his first college start, and just really thought the kids practiced very hard this week. We were not perfect today, but the kids they fought. They did a great job with the game plan. It's just exciting to get back on the winning side.
To say the least, it feels good. This year is like no other. It was a tough year for all of us. Really like ups and downs. And coming off of last week, we know that's not where we want to be. And then this game, playing the football that we know we can play, this feels good to go out there and ball out with my guys.
Pirate fans, get ready. It's time to talk ECU football on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate Show. The Pirate Radio sports team will get you ready with a game-winning strategy, live reports from the stadium, a breakdown of all the X's and O's, and all the scores and previews from other games around the country. Let's get ready. It's time for Pirate football on the voice of the Pirate Nation. The Bud Light Pregame Tailgate is on the air.
Good morning, Pirate fans. Welcome in to the final edition of the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, getting you ready for ECU and SMU to wrap up the 2020 football season. And we got a lot to get to on this morning's edition of the program, as we'll visit with the voice Jeff Charles here in hour number one. He joins us in the Pirate Radio studios. You'll also hear from the coordinators, Donnie Kirkpatrick and Blake Harrell, in this hour number one. Hour two, Double B, Brian Bailey, will join us in the Pirate Radio studios, and we'll hear from the head coach of the Pirates, Mike Houston. In hour three, Ronnie Woodward and Stephen Igo will drop by, get their thoughts on today's game. David Glenn will join us to talk ECU SMU, look back at North Carolina Notre Dame, talk about what's going on in the ACC as well. And then hour four, a lot of live interviews to get to, including Jeff Nadeau, the big man on campus from Barstool Sports. We'll talk Pirates and Ponies and what else is going on today in college football and college basketball. Billy Weaver from WITN set to join us, as will Brian North, WCTI 12. That, Shirley Rhodes, Chandler Honeycutt, and a couple of great giveaways today. Coming up next hour, we'll be giving away tickets to this football game, so got that coming your way. And later on in the show, a fantastic Parker's and Bud Light giveaway for you as well. So we got multiple winners coming up on today's program. Shirley, hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Clip.
Doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I kind of got over my food coma from Thanksgiving, so I'm ready to go.
I am almost leftovered out, which is a good thing because we're going to go from turkey to chicken here today, as we're going to get some Parker's barbecue in a couple hours.
Counting down 2.5 hours.
Excited about that. Chandler Honeycutt here as well. And the voice, Jeff Charles, joins us here inside the Pirate Radio studios. Hello, Jeff.
Good morning, Clip. Doesn't seem possible. This is the last game of the season, does it? It has really flown by this year because you only played 9 games, so here we are.
I was thinking about it on the way here. Usually it's a grind, Jeff, when we get to this point in the season. It's been kind of a sprint, albeit a stressful sprint for the coaches, the players, and really everyone involved. The Pirates were able to get 8 games in, and today, hopefully getting the 9th game in of the season.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Clip. And you know what's been so positive about this is the fact that once the Pirates got started, they were able to continue to play every week, with the exception of the open date week that they had, which was already in the schedule. But there really aren't that many college football teams across the country that once they got started, they were able to play right on through. So we have to feel blessed about that. I asked Mike Houston about that this week, and he said there's probably a little bit of luck involved in it, along with everything else that has been going on inside the program. I mean, people have been very diligent. I mean, you got to hand it to the players and also the coaching staff and certainly the medical staff at ECU. They've done a terrific job of keeping the players healthy so they could go out and compete each and every week. But I'll tell you, it's been good that the Pirates have been able to get some games in. 9 games. Who would have ever thought that ECU was going to play 9 games when you go back back to mid-September, Clip. In fact, Mike Houston said this week he thought this football team would probably only play 4 or 5 games, maybe max this year. So here we are with the 9th game of the year coming up today, and it's going to be a big challenge. This SMU team's very good.
Yeah, Jeff, usually you don't see a doctor or team doctor get a game ball, but that was the case last week. The doctor in charge of all the testing and protocols and everything gets a game ball in the locker room after the victory over Temple. So that was pretty cool to see, and it kind of goes to show how important that part of it has been to get these games in, to get these guys on the field this year.
Yeah, no doubt about that. East Carolina did that, and some other programs across the country also honored their team doctors, which those guys really fly under the radar. About the only time you think about them or talk about them is when there's an injury on the field, right, and the doctor goes out to take a look at the injured player on the field or on the court. But those folks do a great job, and of course we're very blessed in this town to have such a great medical staff and such a great program at ECU, sports medicine program that has been in effect, as we all know, for many, many years. And then the Vidant right next door here. So we're in good shape as far as that's concerned every time the Pirates lace them up.
Talk a lot of Pirate football with Jeff Charles. We'll talk a little Pirate hoops as well. ECU starting the season 1-0, Jeff, after a road victory against Charlotte. And you talked about it quite a bit yesterday. And first of all, a road victory for ECU against the D1 opponent is rare enough. A road victory at Charlotte, even rarer, Jeff. It had been a long time since the Pirates had won there.
Like 1983, Clip. You were probably just a tyke, weren't you, in 1983?
Depending on the month that was played, I was 1 or 2 years old.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And contrary to popular opinion, I did not broadcast that game in 1983. That was 37 years ago.
Wow.
Since the Pirates had won in Charlotte, and I can assure you that Cy Seymour and yours truly have had some very long days and long nights at Halton Arena. There were a lot of games the Pirates were not competitive against Charlotte back in the day, but things are changing because East Carolina beat Charlotte last year and then beat Charlotte again yesterday in Charlotte, and eerily similar kind of games. And when you play against Charlotte, Clip, you usually play kind of the same type of game against them because that's just the way they play. They want to play in the 50s if they can. They don't want to get in the 60s really all that much. Last year it was 60-56. ECU won. This year the Pirates won the game 66-57, so almost identical scores in the 2 games played. And it's a good win. It is. Charlotte's a good program. They're middle of the pack to the top half of the conference in Conference USA. They had a winning season last year. They went 16-13. They went 10-8 in league play. So they're no slouches, and they've got some good, talented players. That Jordan Shepard's really a good player for them, the transfer from Oklahoma. And so it was a good win. Jaden Gardner had 18 points. He carried the Pirates in the second half. Tristan Newton carried the Pirates in the first half. He had 13 first half points. And some other guys played well, too, under the radar. I thought Tyree Jackson Pig played well. He had 8 points and did a nice defensive job. And good to see the big fella, Luigi DeBow, back out there. And he made a contribution. He had 6 points in the game. So, you know, all in all, Tremont Robinson-White did not score, but he didn't turn it over either. And he had 5 assists. So there were a lot of heroes in that one. That's the good news. The bad news is the Pirates are not going to play Belmont Abbey today because that game has been called off. And so as we understand it, the Pirate administration is again in a frenzy to see if they can pick up a game, maybe another game sometime this week. And of course, we do know for sure that East Carolina will be in action a week from today. The Radford Highlanders will come into Williams Arena, Minges Coliseum, and maybe another game. We don't know that yet, but perhaps another game this week too. We'll just have to stay tuned and see.
They put that one together, that little trip to Charlotte, pretty quick, Jeff, last week when they found out that they would not be going to Florida. So I'll see if they can do something this week. That's going to be the way scheduling goes, at least non-conference wise, in 2020-2021. We use the word tough to describe described Jaden Gardner quite a bit, and I think tough is a good way to describe everything that happened yesterday. The degree of difficulty on Tristan Newton's shots yesterday, Jeff, he was being guarded pretty tightly and was able to really to make some great shots there in the first half when the Pirates were struggling a little bit. Of course, you mentioned Jaden. What if I told you, Jeff, that Patumba Baruti would be the only Pirate that would be allowed to take a three-pointer yesterday? You probably wouldn't like your chances there. He had a couple of big ones in the second half. That is still an issue after one game this season, Jeff, shooting three-pointers and something Joe Dooley, I know, wants to clean up and get better at.
Yeah, they were 2 of 15 yesterday, Clip, and that's not going to make it. East Carolina was dead last in the American Athletic Conference last year in three-point shooting. They only shot it at 28%. And so that's been a real sense of urgency for this team in the offseason, and a point of emphasis for Coach Dooley and his staff is that this team's got to shoot the three ball a lot better. As you well know, Clip, in college basketball these days, it's so much about shooting threes, and you got to have a couple of guys who can knock them down. Maybe it was just a cold night yesterday for the Pirates, and hopefully they'll be able to shoot the ball better from three-point range. But you mentioned Tristan, and I'll tell you what's amazing about Tristan Newton to me is even when he misses, the ball looks like it's going to go in the basket. You ever notice that?
He had a three, I know, yesterday that rattled around.
Yeah,
looked like it was going in.
It's always like right on the rim, and you think it's going in. I mean, he like never takes a bad shot, or he never takes a shot that is an air ball or bangs off the glass or something. His shots are almost always on target, and I kind of forgot about that going back to last year, and then I'm watching the game and broadcasting the game yesterday, and it kind of comes into my mind again that this is the way Tristan plays, and his shot always looks good when it leaves his hand. He's a talented kid. So many kids come into programs all over the country, Clip, and they don't meet expectations. And a lot of times these kids and all these sports have a lot of hype, and they get to where they're going, and they don't quite live up to the expectations. Well, you take a guy like Tristan, and the coaching staff, I think every day, is really surprised at how good he is and how he slipped through the cracks as far as the recruiting process is concerned. I don't really understand why he was not recruited more heavily, because he averaged 37 points a game in high school in El Paso, and yet he had some offers, but he kind of fell through the cracks a little bit, and the Pirates were able to go out there and get him, thanks to Coach Rock, who has a lot of ties in the state of Texas. And this kid has just been outstanding. He was one of the best freshmen in the league last year, and he's going to continue to improve because he works so hard. He's a great kid. He comes from a great family, a military family, and so he's the whole package. He really is. Pirates are fortunate to have him, and he's stuck with a program. I think he'll continue to stick with the program here, and it's just great to see him out there and know he's only a sophomore.
1-0 are the ECU basketball Pirates on the road picking up a victory. Stephen Igo sent me a message after the game and used the Jeff Charles line. He said, it's no longer a house of horrors there in Charlotte, Jeff. You've used that one too many times.
Probably
for road venues for ECU, because it has been a struggle, as you know, to get a road win anywhere. So the Pirates will take that one. That was a good win yesterday.
Yeah, it really was. And it's great to get off on the right foot as far as the season is concerned. And again, you're playing an in-state team. People are familiar with Charlotte. Going back down through the years, Clip, there have been a lot of terrific Eastern North Carolina kids that have gone to Charlotte to play their college basketball. Jarvis Lang from over in Farmville, the Pirates recruited him. I can't tell you how heavily the Pirates recruited him when Mike Steele was here back in the day. Thought they had Jarvis Lang. He started going to their camps when he was like in 7th or 8th grade, and he ended up going to Charlotte. Of course, Cornbread Maxwell from Kinston had the terrific career at Charlotte and took them to the Final Four. And so there have been a lot of kids, I'm sure I'm forgetting a few more, out of Eastern North Carolina that went to Charlotte and really had great careers. And Bobby Hussey was a great coach over there. He took them to, I think, 5 NCAA tournaments when he was the head coach there in 12 years, if I remember right. And it's a real good basketball school with a nice arena. Every time we go over to Halton Arena, we're like, boy, this is really a nice college basketball arena right on campus. So they've got a nice place to recruit to, and a lot of kids want to play in the city, and they use the NBA team as a recruiting tool, and so they have a lot going for them. Now, their program went downhill, And now it looks like Ron Sanchez is the guy to bring it back, and he's done a really nice job over there.
Everything go good with you and Cy here in Greenville calling the game yesterday, Jeff?
Yeah, pretty well. The feed, the video feed was not as good as what we have been getting for football.
This was a YouTube broadcast.
Yes,
kind of unique.
It was at times difficult, but I'll tell you what, the entire game, we only missed one play the entire game because they were on a replay while live play was going.
Yeah.
And
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, and I keep score as I go, and so I glance down, for just a half a second after a basket is made, and mark it down, and I looked up, and all of a sudden I'm seeing the replay, and I'm thinking, did I miss something here? Well, I really didn't miss anything because the replay was on, and it was a quick basket at the other end.
I think DeBow scored one time while they were showing a replay for Charlotte, and I remember that now.
I think so, and I think there maybe was a Charlotte basket made during a replay as well. So, but I guess, when you're talking 2 hours and you're talking a 40-minute basketball game, if there was only one or two glitches, that's not all bad. You'd like it to be perfect, but it wasn't. But yeah, we're doing the best we can. That's the best thing I can say. And we're not unique as far as this is concerned, Clip. I mean, this is going on all over the country with college networks all over the country, with professional teams. I don't know what the NBA is going to do or the NHL this year as far as radio broadcasts and television broadcasts are concerned, but Major League Baseball, once baseball got cranked up, Major League Baseball teams, radio and TV, they didn't travel. They were doing it in their home cities, so it's just the way it is this year, and we're all making adjustments.
Jeff Charles joining us inside the Pirate Radio studios. We will talk to the voice on Wednesday on Pirate Radio Live and either be previewing Radford coming to Greenville on Saturday, or maybe talking about another game that pops up during the week. Let's get our first time out in. We will come back and talk ECU and SMU. Got some highlights of last year's game going on the TV right now, Jeff, and you called a lot of touchdowns in that game last year on both sides. We'll look back at that one and talk about what we got coming up today when we return on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate after this.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Here with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you were telling me the other day, people ask you all the time, I didn't know you did that. What does that mean?
Anything that involves property damage repair, call us first. If it's your crawl space, you've got interior humidity issues, a water loss, your ice maker line breaks, obviously fire and smoke, everybody knows we do those. But anything that involves interior or exterior property damage, we're your repair experts.
Mike, how can everybody get in touch with you?
252-999-0001 or fixednc.com.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is former ECU tight end Bryce Williams from my friends at the Auto Store Group. If you're in the market for a quality used vehicle, then the Auto Store Group is for you. The Auto Store Group has 3 locations and over 150 quality used vehicles to choose from for all budgets. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. And remember, every purchase comes with a free bucket of fun. The Auto Store Group, your hometown store, Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Go Pirates!
Hidden phone trade-ins, hidden plan requirements, hidden catches. You won't find any of those at US Cellular because we do things differently. And that means you can get the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE or Google Pixel 5 for free with no hidden requirements all season long. US Cellular. Upgrade to fair. Terms and conditions apply. See store uscellular.com for details.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for US Cellular since 1997. Visit atlanticwireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
This is Marcus Crandall, former ECU Pirate and Grey Cup champion. And you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. Watch all of Pirate Radio's local programming on YouTube Live. Go to YouTube and search for Pirate Radio TV and subscribe today. Watch Pirate Radio Live Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. and the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate right now, and US Cellular fifth quarter on game days. Just go to YouTube and search Pirate Radio TV and subscribe. Now let's head back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
Alrighty, hour one of the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Clip Brock, Jeff Charles here with you inside the Pirate Radio studios, getting you set for ECU and SMU coming up today, noon at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium. And Jeff, we're watching highlights from last year's meeting between these two teams, and it is a season's worth of highlights just about on both sides, as the Pirates and Mustangs went up and down the field, put a ton of points on the board, and this one happened to be a fun one for you to call, Jeff.
It was a very exciting game. The good news is the Pirates scored 51 points. The bad news is the Pirates gave up 59 points and lost that game 59-51, but it was an entertaining game, and fans, of course, love to see touchdowns and big plays and big runs and big touchdown passes. We had all of that. Holton Ahlers had a great game. He threw for almost 500 yards in the game, and Tyler Snead was terrific. He had 19 catches for 240 yards in the game. They could not cover him, so he's at the top of the scouting report for SMU going into the game today after what he did to them last year. But this SMU team is really good. They're as good, if not better, than they were last year, Clip, and I think where they've made the most improvement is on the defensive side of the football. They're very respectable now. Defensively, they're giving up 28.6 points per game, and in talking with the ECU coaches this week, they feel like their defense is better than the one they had last year. So we'll find out. We'll see if the Pirates have something for them today. I know the kids are excited to play. Even though it's an abbreviated type of senior day today, it still is going to be an exciting time for those kids who put so much into the program. And I think the good news is so many of those kids are going to come back and play next year. We'll have a better feel for that in mid-January when they get back from break. But it's going to be a fun day today. And as I was driving in today, Clip, to Pirate Radio, I was thinking to myself, look at all the beautiful Saturdays we've had this year in this football season, and hardly anybody can go to the games. That's just kind of our luck. Now, next year, we'll be back, and things will be a little bit more normal, and we'll have all these rainy days, and you get to November, it'll be cold, and we'll have some bad weather days. That's kind of our luck. But this year, we've had some really beautiful weather for Pirate football, but only 3,500 fans can go to the games.
It reminds me of baseball season when you said that, Jeff, when there was no games at Clark LeClaire Stadium, and every weekend was just beautiful, and nothing was going on outside, unfortunately. But that has been the case this year. Jeff, this performance last year against SMU kind of came out of nowhere, and you hope that we can kind of get a similar thing today, because this offense, and 28-3 last week, nice win over Temple, but the offense still stifling a little bit and trying to get clicking in the passing game, and that certainly got going last year against SMU. It has not looked great this year outside of a couple of performances against USF and Tulsa, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much so. And you use the word click, and I think everybody's been using that word this week. I think that's what the coaches want to see the offense do, is finally click and get in some kind of a rhythm. They've really not been in a rhythm this year, Clip, as far as the run game and the pass game playing off of each other. And it's just been kind of herky-jerky, and one week the Pirates will be able to throw the ball well, can't run it. The next week they'll be able to run the ball pretty well and then can't throw it. And so it's been frustrating that way. And I don't think we've talked about this on your shows, but I went back and looked at the media guide clip from last week and last year, and we've talked a lot week after week about the two tackles who have missed almost the entire year this year. Noah Henderson's missed the entire year. Deontay Smith played a little bit early, and then of course he went down. So most games this year, you were going into each game without the two tackles that you thought were going to be your starters and play all year. And then Cortez Heron had the off-the-field incident, and he left the program, but he was going to be your starting left guard. So we've talked quite a bit about those guys. And then I got to thinking about some other guys who were in the program that played a lot last year that, for one reason or another, are not here this year. And there are 5 more guys who played a lot last year and were counted on to play a lot this season in the offensive line that are no longer in the program. And I'm talking about like Matt Morgan, who played a lot at right tackle, and Jack Doyle was a valuable reserve in the offensive line for the Pirates. John Spellacy was still in the program last year, and then, of course, he has the concussion issues, and he cannot play anymore. But a year ago, there was some hope that he would come back and play. Peyton Winstead has the bad shoulders, and he's not been able to play this year. And another young man, Donovan Noel, who was highly recruited coming into the program, is no longer in the program. So my point is, that's 8 offensive linemen that the Pirates were counting on to play this year. And I don't care if you're Alabama, Ohio State, or Clemson, you can't lose 8 offensive linemen in 1 year and be the same. And a lot of these kids who are playing now for the Pirates probably wouldn't even have gotten on the field this year if those guys would have still been in the program and playing. So that's one of the reasons why the offense has sputtered as it has. And I give credit to the kids who are playing. They have really battled their rear ends off, and they've done the best they can. But again, you just take a hit like that, talent-wise, in one position group, it's going to be tough to overcome that.
Jeff, you've got in recruiting some misses. You've got some self-inflicted wounds, maybe not recruiting enough at the O-line position in years past, but also bad luck. And that center position in particular has just been snake bit for ECU. When you talk about Spellacy and Winstead, and it feels like they've hit on some good ones, Jeff. They just have not been able to get luck when it comes to that position, and it's hurt the Pirates. Now, luckily, Fernando Fry and Trent Holler, it looks like they've been able to piece it together, and moving forward will be pretty good at that position. But that has just been a spot that's been snake bit for ECU.
Yeah, and you have to have depth, Clip. I think that's what we're talking about, and it's tough for programs in the American to have the same kind of depth that the Power 5 programs have. And so when your top guys go down, there's a drop-off, and it's very difficult, and injuries is just part of the game. That's why you have to continue to recruit, you continue to develop and have guys ready to go. But like today, the starting left tackle, Walter Stribling, is a freshman. He's probably not ready to play as a starter at this level, but the Pirates don't have anyone else. Now, they feel good about him, that he's going to be a really good player, but they're having to throw him in the fire today. And Justin Chase, the right tackle on the other side, didn't play at all when he was at North Carolina State, and so he's basically sat around over there for 4 years and never got on the field. And now, of course, he's having to start at ECU, and so you just have a lot of guys who are working hard and doing the best they can. We've talked about Bailey Malovic only being 255 pounds, playing at the right tackle spot. And so it's been very difficult. We all know what a good offensive line coach Steve Shankweiler is, and he'll get the most out of what he has, and he'll coach him up. But again, it's been tough this year up front for the Pirates.
And fans and people like me love a depth chart, Jeff, and you see everybody at their position going into the season, and you look at it now, and you might as well rip it up because, how many guys are playing their natural position that they were brought here to play, that they were expected to play? You've had to do a lot of shifting up there with the guys you're talking about.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. And every week, Clip, there's been shifting going on. Yeah. A guy will play on the right side of the line and then go to the left side, and you'll have guys who play tackle, who play guard the next week, and vice versa. They've used a number of centers, although Fernando Fry is pretty much settled in at that position. So when you've got that kind of change with your offensive line, it's going to be very, very difficult. And I think that's why you see the inconsistencies when you see the Pirates able to run the ball 1 week and can't throw it, and throw it better the next week and can't run it. It's almost like there are too many holes in the dike, and you get one hole plugged up and another leak breaks out somewhere else, and that's just what they've had to deal with this year. Plus, we talk about the tight ends, and the 3 tight ends for ECU this year have a combined 7 catches. So the tight end really has not been involved very much in the offense this year. And I think there are a variety of reasons for that as well. Jeremy Lewis and Zach Bird have had injury and COVID issues, and so they've not been able to produce like everyone thought that they would be able to produce this year. So it's been a hodgepodge of everything, and these guys are survivors, are going to be out on the field today against SMU in this last game because, let's face it, especially with that offensive line, they've had to keep it together with glue and Band-Aids the whole year.
The voice, Jeff Charles, here inside the Pirate Radio studios. We'll hear Jeff talk to the coordinators when we return on the Bud Light pregame tailgate, as he'll talk to Donnie Kirkpatrick, ECU offensive coordinator, and Blake Harrell, the defensive coordinator of the Pirates, when we return on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Shirley Rhodes playing TV themes today. Get your request in via Twitter, and Shirley will play it if she can find it. More to go on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. We're back after this.
Chico's Mexican Restaurant is the home of the best margaritas. Grab your amigos and head to Chico's every Tuesday for the Gulp of Mexico, a huge 46-ounce lime margarita for only $6.99. On Thursdays, relax and enjoy half-price pitchers of Chico's house margaritas. Choose from lime, strawberry, blood orange, raspberry, or peach. For Mexican food and fun, it's got to be Chico's Mexican Restaurant in downtown Greenville and online at chicosrestaurant.com. Chico's, where the fiesta never ends.
Your CBD store in Greenville has the highest quality CBD products in the country. Your CBD store is the first and only brand that carries USDA certified organic products such as gummies, honey sticks, and high absorption water soluble liquids, which are all made in the United States. They even offer products for your pet. The educated staff will help you answer any questions, and you can stop in anytime to get a free sample. Your CBD store, locally owned and operated, open Monday through Saturday 10 to 6, right beside Duck Donuts in Greenville. Did you know time spent outdoors can help improve your children's health and bring balance to their life? The Outdoor Heritage Advisory Council invites you to join the Patch program. This program is for any child under the age of 16 and includes activities like fishing, hunting, and hiking. These are just one of the many ways you can earn the exclusive patches from the Outdoor Heritage Council. For more information on how to sign up and get your adventure started, visit northcarolinaHeritage.nc.gov.
Bostic Sugg Furniture is overstacked and overstocked. Overflowing inventory means clear out prices. Hurry in and take advantage of the biggest and best deals throughout our showroom. Save up to 20% off the best furniture brands: Lazy Boy, Bassett, Kincaid, Rowe, and Restonic mattresses. Plus, just for this sale, 12 months special financing or choose 48 months special financing. There's savings on top of savings. We're overstacked and overstocked, and that means big savings for you at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
If you thought you saw the last of double cheeseburger pizza, think again, because it's back at Papa John's again with a large double cheeseburger pizza for just $12. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hey, Pirate fans, order the new double cheeseburger pizza for only $12. The new cheeseburger pizza is an MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
With rates being historically low, now is the best time to buy or refinance your home. This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685-842. Equal housing lender.
This is Mike Houston, head football coach at East Carolina University, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light pregame tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. For the latest breaking news, interesting stories, and awesome contests that can make you a winner, be sure to follow Pirate Radio on our social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at PR927FM. Join the close to 50,000 followers today at PR927FM. Now let's head back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
Alrighty, thank you, Shirley Rhodes. Our final edition of the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Got a big 3.5 hours left to go. The requests are coming in for pregame music, Shirley. Stephen Igo will be our guest in hour 3. He requests The Office.
Oh, The Office. Okay,
So
I can see I can do that.
Get that one ready to go.
Oh, I've got some good ones here.
Got a good one for Bailey coming up next hour. Have not talked to Brian Bailey since Washington put the massacre on the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. So looking forward to that conversation coming up at 9 o'clock. We got Jeff Charles with us right now inside the Pirate Radio studios. And Jeff was able to talk to the coordinators earlier this week of the ECU Pirates. Let's start with Donnie Kirkpatrick, ECU offensive coordinator, as Jeff went one-on-one with Donnie K. And here's that conversation.
ECU offensive coordinator Donnie Kirkpatrick is alongside it. Coach, let's talk about Keaton Mitchell. Kind of sneaked up on us last week. He had another 100-yard game. He's had a couple of them now. Boy, he's playing well, isn't he?
Really proud of Keaton. You know, he showed flashes in the preseason camp and then kind of got a little wore down, you know, I think, beat up a little bit. And then, you know, Raji took off, but he was in there kind of, you know, making some good effort. But then he's gotten his opportunity the last 2 weeks, and he surely put back-to-back good games. We need him to do it again. And, you know, I told him the other day, well, anybody can do it 2 times. You got to be able to do it 3 times if you're going to be great.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about throwing to the tight ends this year, a total of 7 catches among your 3 tight ends. Could you address that situation?
Well, the tight ends have not gotten a lot of balls, and again, there's only one ball, you know, and Snead gets a lot of balls, and you know, Pro gets a lot of balls, and CJ gets a few balls in there, and I wish we would get it more to the tight ends. We've tried to do that at times, but you know, Zach Bird has not played a lot for us this year due to some injuries, then the COVID-19 tracing, so he's been out. We do hope to have him back, you know, this weekend, but again, he hasn't practiced very much, so we've ended up going with a freshman tight end, and it's been a lot for him. And, you know, again, Jeremy Lewis has done some things, but Jeremy's been injured for a couple of games. He had the COVID-19 tracing, so he missed 2 games. So he missed 4 games in a shortened season. He hasn't played a lot. So it's been a lot for the freshman, and you know what? He's done a nice job of what we've asked him to do, and you just probably don't want to overdo it at that situation. And we go into most of the games with only 2, and that's a tight situation.
Donnie, the other thing I wanted to ask you about is Holton has not run the ball as much this year as he did last year. Is that by design?
Well, I think some of it is, and that, you know, we have a true freshman backup quarterback, and I don't know. Sometimes the defense dictates that a little bit. You know, he's had a nice game rushing last week due to the 1 run. The teams have played him to stay in the pocket a little bit more. They have, you know, some of those runs in the past are scrambled runs. They're not quarterback called runs, and he hasn't had as many of those opportunities because the defense has been preventing that. The other thing is, in the zone read game that everybody talks about, they've put a player on him. They've spied him some as well, and so I think some of that is the defense taking that part away. The other thing is, obviously, our run game is better with our running backs this year, so obviously we don't feel like we probably need him to get as many carries. We'd like for him just to get those completions and do it a little bit more in the passing game.
Coach, when you talk about SMU, everybody talks about their offense, but their defense is pretty good too. They have 23 sacks, and they've taken the ball away, takeaways 15 of them. So they're very opportunistic, aren't they?
They are, and that's the way they were last year. I think when we played them last year going into the game, they led the nation in sacks. They're right up there again, I guess, this year. Takeaways is a big part of the way they play. They play an aggressive defense that kind of matches their offense. Go out there, you know, get the ball back quickly, you know, one way or the other, so that they can get the ball offensively, and they want to go score a lot of points, and they want to play fast. So they really have great speed at linebacker and in the secondary. They're really strong up front. They're a mature group. Again, another older bunch of guys, a lot of transfer players in there. So challenging for our guys to go compete. We did a nice job last year. I'm sure they're looking for that, like Cincinnati was, a rather really big game last year. But we've got them at home here on a beautiful Saturday coming up, and I think our kids are excited about it.
Coach, let's talk about that for just a moment. This is the last game of the year. How important is it in that last game to go out on a winning note and have that carry on over into the winter workouts of spring and then for the next season?
Well, I think it's huge, and we've talked a lot to the team about the team staying excited about playing well and trying to finish it off on a positive note. If we could win this week, we'd be 3-5 in the conference. Nobody ever set a goal for that, but it's been since I guess 2015. We'd be back to the point where the program got broke a little bit. We'd be back to that, and I think we all feel like we probably had one other win in there at Tulsa, and obviously the situation at Navy, we might have had a chance there, but you can't count that one. But to get back to just 3-5, and then I think to finish off on a 2-game win streak, which is something we haven't done very often, would really be a big uplift going into the off season. I would compare it a little bit to Tulsa's season last year, where they played a lot of teams tough. You thought maybe they should have won, that they had a good enough team to win. Had a lot of things just kept them from doing that, but they finished strong, played really well against us the last weekend, built some momentum, and that's carried over to their season this year.
Yeah, it really has. They've had a great year. Number 25 this week. Coach, I noticed on the offensive line, again, you've moved some people around this week. Walter Stribling is starting at left tackle.
Well, we lost a shot, and then Bailey Malkovic had a sprained AC, and he was, in an emergency-only role last week. We did not have to play him. We were really glad we did not. So Walt Stribling, true freshman, coming in here, and probably never dreamed he'd be playing this early because we had planned to redshirt him. We really were reconstructing his body. He's going to be an excellent player, but we had him lose a lot of weight, trim up, and then we're going to have Big John build him back up again. We haven't had time to do that, but he's getting that opportunity. He did a pretty nice job last week. He really did. He held his own, so hopefully he'll build on that and play again this week. So it's just next man up. It's been that way all year, especially up front with the offensive line.
That's ECU offensive coordinator Donnie Kirkpatrick.
Jeff Charles there with Donnie Kirkpatrick, looking at the UBE stat sheet. Jeff, we talked about the passing issues this team has had throughout 2020. Let's talk about the bright side, and that is the run game. And Keaton Mitchell, 100 yards last week. We've seen Rajay Harris put up 100 in multiple games this year so far, Jeff, and that has been a pleasant surprise. This run game with these true freshmen that we didn't know a whole lot about heading into this season.
It really has. Very positive. And Rajay comes into the game today, 624 yards. You talk about those 100-yard games he had. How about that game he had against Navy? He ran for 172 yards in that game clip. And then Keaton here just recently has really come on with 2 100-yard games. And that total really kind of sneaked up on us last week at Temple. Looked up, and all of a sudden, at the end of the game, he's got 103 yards on 13 carries against Temple. So he's at 375 yards now on the season, and his per carry average is really impressive, 5.5 yards per carry for Keaton. So they've got a couple of freshman running backs, and that bodes well for the future. Darius Penix is still in the mix, and he got some carries last week against Temple. We'll see if he gets some carries again today. But those 2 young running backs for the Pirates, the 2 freshmen, have really, really done well, and they've taken advantage of an opportunity to play early in their careers, and they've done a really nice job.
We saw it against Temple. We saw it earlier in the year, too, I believe, Jeff. Darius Penix kind of taking over the role as the closer, to use a baseball term. He comes in, takes care of the football, moves the pile, runs the clock, and the Pirates were able to milk the clock against Temple last week. Jeff, and you've mentioned this, too, the teams ECU has faced that have good running games usually have a 1-2 punch and sometimes a 1-2-3-4 punch, and it's great that the Pirates are forming that with their offense right now.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Clip. Most good teams have 3 running backs who play. The days are pretty much over of one lead dog and he gets 35 carries. You don't see that very much anymore. You look at those UCF running backs, and they've always had 3 or 4 guys that they alternate in and out of there, and they're able to keep guys fresh, and that's kind of the trend in football now. And so, yes, we feel really good about Harris and Mitchell. What I like about Rajay is not only can he run through tackles, but he can also run away from people. We saw him do that in the Navy game when he had that 80-yard touchdown run, and sometimes it's almost like he needs to go down a little bit earlier than he does because he's always trying to get that extra yard, which is great, but unfortunately he's fumbled a few times this year too. I think he'll learn that. He's still a young pup. up playing back there, and Keaton Mitchell just has that extra gear. Once he gets out around the corner, I mean, he's really good. He's really got that shake and bake. He can make people miss. He's a very exciting player that I think is only going to continue to get better. So they've got those two guys. Penix is still in the stable, and talking with Mike Houston just in the last couple of weeks, he wants to bring in 2 more running backs in this recruiting class because, again, just what we're saying, Clip, they know you have to have depth at that position. Those guys go down as well with the injuries. It's a long season, and so you need to have 4 or 5 in the stable to get through a year.
Jeff Charles joining us. Jeff, as we flip it to the defensive side of the ball, more good numbers on the UB stat sheet from a week ago. ECU giving up 235 total yards, forcing 3 turnovers. Look, the Temple kind of down to their 5th quarterback, and they had a ton of issues in that game. ECU did what they were supposed to do. They were a turnover away from pitching a shutout last week as ECU had a turnover, were able to hold Temple to a field goal. That was the only scoring they did last week. Let's hear what Blake Harrell had to say about that and looking ahead to the high-powered SMU Mustangs as Jeff Charles talked to him this week.
Defensive coordinator Blake Harrell, and Coach, how good did it feel walking off that field last week in Philadelphia and see only 3 points on the board from Temple?
You know, just really proud of the effort our kids put forth, and you look up there and you see that score on 3, and obviously it's always good to get a win, regardless if that's by 1 or 100 and how it comes, you'll take it. And but seeing up there in the defensive effort, walking off the field 3 points and not allowing a touchdown, and you know, just really proud of how our kids executed and played, you know, for 4 quarters there. So thought that was good, you know, something to build off of and something confidence to take into this week.
After the game, Elijah Morris was awarded a scholarship by Coach Houston. He's been quite a story, hasn't he?
Yeah, it seems like we speak about him every week, and you know, he's been a story, and now with the scholarship, his expectations even rise.
No doubt about that. Sean Dorso, we haven't talked a whole lot about him, Coach, but boy, he's had a solid year for you in the secondary. He's had a couple of picks. He's a big hitter back there, isn't he?
Yeah, thank goodness for Sean. I'm glad we got him, and I'm glad he's here. You know, he showed up on campus the first time in the summer when he reported and never seen it, sight unseen, and signed, and has done a really good job, nice job this season, and made a really nice play last Saturday in the end zone, picking that ball off. And you know, like you said, the biggest thing he stands out is coming up and making stops, and had a tackle for a loss the other day, and just does a nice job in the run game as well.
Yeah, and even though he's a junior college guy, he's got some more years here, doesn't he?
Yeah, so excited about that, and excited about his future. Got at least a couple more years to play, and you know, he'll grow each and every. He's grown each and every week this year, and look forward to even growing up over the next couple of years.
Coach, as we all know, SMU's got one of the best offenses in this league. They're averaging 38.7 points per game, and Shane Buechele is one of the top quarterbacks. Ulysses Bentley is leading this league in rushing. A lot of weapons as far as the receivers are concerned. This is a challenge this week, right?
No doubt. I mean, it's the offense of the week, right? Every week's a challenge, and this one certainly is as great as they've been, and with a really good quarterback. I think he's one of the top quarterbacks in passing in the nation. Running back, as you mentioned, leading the conference in rushing. So they got some different weapons, and they can attack you different ways. So you got to, you know, take away what they do best, take away their fastballs, make them execute, get them to third down, and see if you can get them off the field there and get the ball back to our offense.
Coach, I'm really impressed with Buechele's statistics, especially 21 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. So it doesn't look like he forces the ball very much.
He doesn't. He's very, very accurate. I mean, I think he's about 65% completion, and doesn't really miss. I mean, the passes that are, you know, there's some drop passes out there, but he's not missing. He throws a really good ball. So somehow we got to make him move his feet and make sure we account for him in the scramble game, but make him move his feet, get him off his spot, and see if we can make him miss some passes there. We can put him in those situations.
Yeah, let's talk about that, Coach, because they can hurt you running the ball, they can hurt you throwing the ball. So at the top of your scouting report this week, I mean, what do you want to do?
I don't think it's any different than every other week for us. We got to, you know, stop the running back and the run game first of all, and you know, put them in second and long and third and long in those situations, and see if we can maybe get a pick or a sack and get them off the field and that kind of thing.
Coach, how about their offensive line? What do you think of it?
They do a good job. I mean, obviously, if you got a tailback leading the conference in rushing, and you got a quarterback leading the nation in passing, and giving him time to throw the ball back there, they're doing some good things up front, and that's a compliment to those guys.
That's ECU defensive coordinator Blake Harrell.
There's Jeff Charles with Blake Harrell ECU defensive coordinator, pumped up after last week, Jeff, and looking for another good performance today. Going to be a bit of a different challenge, though, with a very experienced quarterback and an offense with a coach in Sonny Dykes that knows how to get yards, get points. We saw it last year against the Pirates. We've seen it all year long for SMU outside of the game against Cincinnati, because Cincinnati doesn't give up points to anybody, but going to be a challenge today for the Pirates.
Yeah, a whole different animal against SMU than last week against Temple. SMU is averaging right at 39 points a game, and Shane Buechele is arguably the best quarterback in the American Athletic Conference. Clip, I put a number to this and a pencil to it. He's thrown for almost 11,000 yards in his career. And you realize as a freshman, he was the starting quarterback at Texas as a freshman and had a really good year there, and then got to his sophomore season and he didn't get as much playing time, and so he ends up transferring. But this guy's a really good quarterback, comes from great stock as well. His father played in the major leagues for 10 years, and Major League Baseball fans probably remember the name Steve Buechele, who played for the Pirates, and he played for the Cubs, and he played for the Rangers, had a really nice 10-year career as a third baseman. Well, Shane is the son of Steve, and Shane he's done a great job since he's been the quarterback at SMU. 65% through the air coming in here. Here's what the stats showed too, Clip. This is the one that really jumps off the page at me. 21 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions. So he does not force bad throws. He's on the money, and he's an experienced guy. He's been there, done that. He's seen about everything that you can throw at him. So it all starts with him. It all starts with the quarterback. And then Ulysses Bentley is the number 1 rusher in this league, and with a good day today, he's going to have a 1,000-yard season. He has 877 yards coming into the game. He's really quick, really fast, changes direction. He's really good. They've got a couple of good backups behind him, and then they've got some really good receivers too. They've got 4 receivers on this team with 32 or more catches, so they really spread the ball around a lot. They don't really have 1 or 2 featured guys, but Danny Gray, number 5, is a real speedster. He's their home run hitter. He can get deep, and he can really hurt you. And then they've got 3 other guys who are good, and then they probably have the best tight end in the conference in Kylan Granson. He is a first-string all-conference tight end, and he's got 32 catches coming in to the game today. So they throw to the tight end a lot. We were just talking about Pirates have not thrown much to the tight end this year. They throw to the tight end a lot. He's a big, strong kid, 6'3", 240 out of Austin, Texas. He's a big part of their offense, and then they've got all conference players in the offensive line too, Clip. So this is a very, very good offense, a great scheme too. The head coach, Sonny Dykes, has always been an offensive-minded coach, and he's always had good offenses and good schemes, and we'll see that today. And Pirates know they've got a big challenge in trying to slow these guys down today.
Jeff, love looking at your charts every week, and looks like SMU doesn't have to go out of the state much to bring in their talent. A lot of Texas boys on that roster, it looks like.
Yeah, they do have a lot of Texas guys. They do go to California every now and then and get a player or two, but when you have so many players in the state, in such a huge state, you can pretty much stay home and get that talent. They do have a lot of transfers, Clip, and I think Sonny Dykes has always worked the transfer market even before it became fashionable, if you will, but they've got a lot of transfers on this team. 4-year guys and junior college transfers. I mentioned Danny Gray, their home run hitter. He's a junior college player from Blinn Junior College. They have great teams down there, and so he works it from all angles. 4-year transfers, junior college transfers, a lot of high school kids from the state of Texas, and it all adds up to a talented roster for him.
All right, we'll have a few final minutes with Jeff Charles when we return on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Get his final thoughts on the Pirates and the Ponies. Brian Bailey is here with us inside the Pirate Radio studios coming up at 9 o'clock. We roll on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Got a big giveaway coming up next hour. We'll tell you about that, too, when we return after this.
Warren's Hot Dog Pizza, homemade lemonade.
Hey, Pirate Nation, Warren's Hot Dogs, 2 locations are open for business in Greenville and Chocowinity. Both locations have drive-through windows, so stop by today for hot dogs, pizzas, subs, apple and peach turnovers, homemade lemonade, and breakfast in Chocowinity, featuring homemade cheese, ham, and chicken biscuits, plus sausage dogs and more. Warren's in Greenville, across from Ron Ayers Motorsports, and in Chocowinity, next to the fire department. Warren's Hot Dogs. Want some? Get some.
Turkey, ham, bacon, these and other meats are great around the holidays and every other day, but they all leave behind grease when you cook them, and grease is a real pain in the drain. When you pour grease down a drain, it cools and can clog sewer lines. That can lead to sewer spills, which are messy, bad for the environment, and can also be expensive. Never pour grease down the drain. Instead, collect it in a container like a used soup can or jar. Let it cool and throw it away in the trash. Together, we can protect our sewer system and the environment. For more information, go to GUC.com.
Hi, this is Luke Kuechly. Last season, I was captain on defense. This season, since so many of us will be watching football from home, I'm football watching with Pepsi. And you know me, I pour everything I've got into it. All right, football watchers, let's do this. Opening click-offs. Here we go. Click on, click off. Click on, click off. Stretch that thumb. You can't have finger fatigue bringing you down in the postseason. Nice job. And my favorite, second half sip-offs. Pepsi's up, lift, pull, open. Ice cold Pepsi and watching football. Nothing better.
It's not game day without a delicious, refreshing Pepsi, the official soft drink of the National Football League. Head to your nearest retailer, grab your Pepsi before kickoff, then sit back, relax, and cheer on your favorite team. Pepsi, made for football watching.
Medicare is not one size fits all, but which plan is right for you? Hi, I'm Denise Walker, and I'm a licensed insurance agent here in North Carolina. Whether you are turning 65, new to Medicare, or already have a plan, I can help you compare your Medicare options. I can help you find a plan offering low to no monthly premiums, prescription drug coverage, and a wide range of additional benefits like dental, hearing, vision, and more. Call me today at 434-531-5674 to get a no-cost, no-obligation Medicare benefits review.
Love Jersey Mike's subs? Love them times 12 with our new catering box. Packed full of a dozen individually wrapped subs. They're yours for the sharing. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. You don't need a big meeting. You don't need a birthday. You don't need any excuse at all. You just need to love subs. Times 12. Order the Jersey Mike's catering box today. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
This is Big John Williams, strength and conditioning coach for East Carolina football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. Listen to Pirate Radio Live every weekday afternoon from 3 to 6 on 92.7 in FM in Greenville and 104.1 in Washington. Or you can watch on YouTube or Facebook Live. PRL is hosted by Clip Rock and yours truly, and features the latest breaking news, top-notch guests, and all of your favorite Pirate Radio personalities like Troy D. and Ellerby, The Voice, Jeff Charles, Brian Bailey, Stephen Igo, Billy Weaver, Brian North, Tony Collins, Bryce Williams, Coach Rick Smith, Ronnie Woodward, Morgan Ehlers, Mike Mullis, and more. Join us this Monday starting at 3 o'clock for Pirate Radio Live. And don't forget, on Tuesday, we begin our annual tradition. It's a tradition unlike any other. It is our annual holiday treasure chest, and we'll start giving away those prizes beginning on Tuesday of next week. So join us for Pirate Radio Live right here on the Voice of the Pirate Nation. Now let's head back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
And man, do we have a ton of awesome prizes for you beginning Tuesday on the Treasure Chest on Pirate Radio Live. We've got some giveaways coming up here on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, including next hour. What are you doing today? Why don't you go see a live college football game? We got some tickets to give away for ECU SMU. So we'll do that coming up next hour, and we have a Parker's Barbecue Bud Light giveaway later in the show as well. So all of that on the way here this Saturday morning on the Bud Light pregame tailgate right here on Pirate Radio. We get the final thoughts now from the voice, Jeff Charles. He'll be on the call with Kevin Monroe, Marty Fuhrer, with all the action today at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium. Jeff, a couple of keys for today's game. What you got?
Turnovers, as always, the key, and I think even more so today, Clip. You've been around this a long time now, and you know when you look at turnover margin, usually teams that are plus in turnover margin are having good years and winning seasons. Teams that are minus in turnover margin are usually having bad seasons or losing seasons. And you look at that stat going into the game today, and SMU is +6 in turnover margin, and East Carolina is -4 in turnover margin. Pirates are going to have to stay away from getting sacked and also stay away from turnovers today, because SMU has forced 15 takeaways, and they've got 23 sacks. And so it's a gambling defense. It takes a lot of chances. So maybe the Pirates can burn them a couple of times, but you get caught up in that, and you're getting sacked, and you're having problems completing passes and throwing some picks. It's going to be a long day. So Pirates need to come out today, and hopefully this will be the day that they can get clicking on all cylinders with that offense, which we talked about it earlier in the show, Clip. They need to come out and have a balanced attack today and throw the ball well, run the ball well against SMU to have a chance. And then you flip the coin on the other side, and these guys have weapons all over the field. This is a big-time challenge for East Carolina's young defense today, because they are balanced. I mean, they can hurt you running the football. They can hurt you throwing the football. They've got playmakers all over the field and a terrific quarterback in Shane Buechele, so they'll do their best to slow them down, but hardly anybody slows them down, with the exception, as you mentioned, Cincinnati with that great defense. They've been about the only team that's been able to do it. So Pirates have to at least hang in there defensively. I mean, they don't have to be great, but they've got to be respectable today defensively to give their offense a chance to win the game today.
Not a lot of defense last time these two teams met. 110 points scored. I remember you saying Wednesday on Pirate Radio Live, Jeff, that SMU's defense takes those chances because they don't mind if they give up a big play. It just means their offense will get back on the field.
Exactly.
Quicker.
That's basically their philosophy.
Yeah.
We just want to get as many possessions as we can. That's the way Steve Logan was, you may remember. He was kind of the same way when he was the coach here. Clip, he said, I want touchdowns. I want them as fast as I can get them. Remember when he used to say that? Yeah. And that's kind of the philosophy that SMU has as well. They just want the ball as much as they can get it, and we're going to throw it all over the lot and give it to Ulysses Bentley, who's a terrific back, and score as many touchdowns as we can today.
Going to be a fun one at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium. Pirates and Mustangs. Jeff, have a great call. Appreciate you joining us as always.
Thanks so much, Clip. It's been fun this year.
Yes,
Hope we're back at UBE next year for Pirate Preview. We broke our streak of 32 straight years at UBE, but of course this is an abnormal year. But thank you for inviting me to come in on Saturdays with you. I enjoyed it.
Really enjoyed hour number one all year long here on the Bud Light pregame tailgate.
Hey, Jeff, I just wanted to say I don't think the streak is broken because I'm not counting 2020 for anything. I mean, like my birthday, I'm still 44. I'm not. 2020
Everybody
doesn't
gets
exist.
a year back, just like the players.
We all get a year back. So
Okay.
as far as I'm concerned, the consecutive streak is still alive.
Okay, well, I'll take it, Shirley, and I'm sure Don Edwards will take it as well.
Shirley, hitting the TV themes when you hit Sanford and Son, it reminded me, it felt like Braves baseball is about to start on TBS.
Oh, yeah, because it usually comes on right before a Braves game. Yeah.
Yep, the closing theme, and then we had Skip and Pete Van Wieren at Fulton County Stadium getting ready for Tom Glavine on the mound tonight. All right, we got Pirates and Mustangs. We're talking about it in hour number 2 with Double B, Brian Bailey. SMU plays in Dallas. Dallas played the other day. Might talk a little bit about that as well.
You might want to ease off on that, or he's going to bolt.
It's a tough spot. I got Bailey for like 45 minutes. I don't want him to leave. I don't know how I'm going to handle this. We'll figure it out when we return after this.
Hey, this is Jay from Villa Verde. Did you know that Villa Verde opened up its second location? Yes, it's Villa Verde Dos on Arlington Boulevard across the hospital. This new location is a fast, casual environment where you can make your own bowls for only $9.95. Choose from our fresh ingredients, from our toppings bars, or enjoy an amazing rotisserie chicken. We promise you can be in and out in less than 15 minutes. For a quick, healthy meal at an affordable price, visit us at Villa Verde 2 on Arlington Boulevard. Villa Verde, a platform for good.
Let us help you get back to business. This is Donald Stocks
and Justin Judge of PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
We're ready to assist your business with branded PPE. Would you like face masks with your logo? We can do that. Plus custom social distancing signage.
Now is the time to ramp up your marketing efforts. Whether it's cutting edge, contactless, touchless marketing, or traditional direct mail, we can do it all.
We are PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get auto, home, life, and business insurance all from one agency? Well, that's where the Gavigan Agency comes in. They can help protect what is important to you. So why not simplify your life? See the Gavigan Agency in Greenville or give them a call today at 252-756-1400. Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio. Subject to underwriting guidelines, review, and approval.
Don't miss the huge savings this weekend at UBE and PirateWear.com. On Black Friday, get a free ECU t-shirt with any $50 purchase in-store or on PirateWear.com. Plus 20% off all sweats on PirateWear.com. For Small Business Saturday, you get a free Mini Pirate Sunset print with any in-store purchase at UBE. And on Cyber Monday, go to PirateWear.com for 20% off your entire online purchase. UBE and PirateWear.com. Proud to serve the Pirate Nation for over 50 years.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Did you miss a show on Pirate Radio? Well, listen to all of Pirate Radio's archived local programming by subscribing to us on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe today by going to the podcast app or on your iPhone or Apple device and search for Pirate Radio Audio Archives. Now let's head back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Barat.
All right, welcome back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate.
Great theme.
Hour number 2.
This is the theme to The Americans.
Great series.
Oh, yeah. I have not finished this.
We haven't finished The Americans?
I still got a season to go, I think.
Oh, the last one's good. The last season's good.
When does the girl say she's going to Russia? That was like going into the last season, right? I think that was the last.
I can't give it away.
Okay.
Just watch it. It's really good. In fact, it's so good that I go back every once in a while and watch the last 3 episodes just because I enjoy it so much.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I will check that out. Yeah. All right. Brian Bailey is here.
You root for a team that basically is the same way.
Oh, man. No, this is a good one. This is good right here.
This is a good one.
What did you just say?
Nothing. It went right over your head, didn't it? I don't even know how you can wear a hat with an R on it anymore because it's not your team.
Rather easily. I just pick it up, put it right on. It fits.
You know what this theme reminds me of? The one chance.
J.R. Ewing?
Well, that too. Who shot J.R.? No. How bad 2020 was for me. I had an opportunity. You guys know, well, you might not know, Bailey, but Clip does. I'm a homebody. I don't really go anywhere. I travel very occasionally.
Really?
Yeah, I really don't go anywhere.
She's a home girl.
And this year, I had an opportunity to go to Dallas.
Wow, you should have gone.
And, well,
God's country.
And the plan was, it was on my itinerary to go to South Fork. Because as a kid, my mom watched this show religiously, along with Knots Landing, because it used to come on right after Dallas.
That was a spinoff, wasn't it?
It was a spinoff of Dallas. Yeah, and then there was Dynasty, I think, was also another spinoff. And
the Dynasty wasn't a spinoff, but it was similar.
It was very similar, yes. But Knots Landing, I know, was a spinoff of Dallas, and so I wanted to get my picture taken right there where it says South Fork Ranch, so I could make my mom jealous. And unfortunately, because of the pandemic, the trip got canceled. Oh. So that's another reason.
Give you something to look forward to in 2021.
Can absolutely bite me. So we get another year back.
Well, speaking of bite me, go ahead, Cliff.
Bailey's got a look in his eye today that is very concerning.
I'm ready.
Bailey, You sent me a message on Thanksgiving. You're one of the nicest guys ever. People don't realize that.
Well, they better not.
Because every now and then you get a little grumpy.
You
said, Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for all the help through the year. What a guy.
Yeah.
I said, love working with you, BB. Happy
Appreciate
Thanksgiving.
Wait a minute, I don't remember getting one from you, B.
I thought you did.
Well,
maybe you did.
That's the kind of
You better
person.
double check it.
Brian Bailey
I'm
is.
about to double check it right now.
My wife doesn't let me text females. That's what it is.
Who you texted? It's just Clip. Don't worry. So then, but that's the last correspondence.
I meant to, Shirley.
That's the last correspondence we've had, Bailey.
Yeah,
you came in here with a different attitude today, and I have not personally done anything to you. I did not text you.
No, you didn't.
I did not
You knew
tweet
better.
at you. I enjoyed my game, my team winning, and I didn't involve you. Why are you angry at me?
I'm angry at the world.
And I'm in the world.
And you're in my world.
I'm part of the world.
You're in my world.
So for folks that don't know, Washington absolutely.
Now wait a minute. Whoa! That is an untruth.
I apologize. You can say the final score.
Yeah, it was a lot to a little, but it was a close game in the fourth quarter,
41-16.
If you had told me before the game started that in the fourth quarter with 12 minutes to play, after your team basically saw their strength coach die in front of them 2 days before, and that they came out and it was awful, and that they came out and had a decimated offensive line and lost two more in the first quarter, and they're still within 20-16. I'd have taken it and ran with it and said, "Hey,
congrats!"
I mean that's a great effort. I don't know what Mike McCarthy is doing. Here's how I envision Monday morning at Dallas Cowboy. It used to be Valley Ranch, but it's not that anymore. At the Star, it's at the Star. I think Jerry Jones comes in and he's Mike, come here, have a seat, Mike. Mike, you remember that analytical stuff you told us about whenever we hired you and all these analyticals you went through? Were y'all drinking when y'all did these analyticals? Because some of the stuff you're coming up with, I mean, nobody fakes a punt in a 4-point game deep inside your own territory. I don't care how they set it up. I don't care if you send the receiver out and he's wide open, the punter, all he has to do is throw it to him, because you just don't do it. You can't afford to, because it might backfire. Riverboat runs on the other sideline going, ha, ha, ha. They call me Riverboat. This guy's dang going insane.
I want me some glory hole.
Jerry, calm down.
Yeah.
Bailey, that play,
it was awful.
When the guy was back on the 10-yard line with the ball, they had to get to the 34.
I threw up dressing.
I don't know what. I don't know. And after the game, Mike McCarthy said,
"Yeah, it was a good call.
That was a good call.
That was
a solid
crazy.
Call.
The other 4th and inches in the first half when they threw the ball to CeeDee Lamb, it's 4th and inches. You're paying Ezekiel Elliott millions. I don't care. Clip and I can block for him, and he should be able to get 2 inches. 3
Did
inches.
Jason Garrett call in that one?
I don't know. That was brutal enough. And then in the fourth quarter, that to happen, and then it just snowballed from there. And
man,
and my strategy every year is to root for the Cowboys to win and everybody else to lose. Well, part of my strategy is working perfectly.
Everybody's losing
because everybody's losing. But now it's kind of like I'm embarrassed that they keep losing. I can't root for any of them, but it's just it's such a bad division. And the Cowboys were supposed to play the Ravens this coming Thursday, but now that's been moved to Monday next week, tentatively, because the Ravens have all kinds of COVID problems.
Like a Monday, 5 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. How am I going to get off that day? I probably won't watch them. I'll probably have it on at the desk.
Bailey's turning into me kind of when it comes to the apathy, which I don't like.
No, I don't have apathy. I love watching them play. I love, I just live and die with them, and I've died a lot lately. But congratulations to your team formerly known as the Reds. How many times did the guy say Redskins in the broadcast? You would think by now in the season they'd be able to get that right, but they was, I think it was 2-2 last I saw.
So I guess Aikman heard it. I missed it. I heard Buck say it, and Buck said we're both said it, and then later Aikman said, and the Reds, Washington. That is the problem with not having a name. I've said this because when you say something's got to come after it. And football team just sounds so dumb.
I agree.
So once you say the word,
I'd be glad when they get one. But although they're talking about not having it, they're talking about keeping this deal. But
interesting stat: Dallas has never beaten with a Washington football team.
That's true too.
In the history of football,
haven't been swept since 2012. So that was a good 8-year run of not getting swept by the Washington.
See, when you say it's over.
I was going to say something worse than Redskins, though.
RG3 and the 2012 Thanksgiving Massacre was the last time the Redskins. I just did. Washington beat Dallas.
Did you see the piece they did before the game about why the Redskins moniker was taken away? Did you see that? Why it was so offensive to Native Americans? I thought it was because, like if you call a white person white skin, Redskin, but they said it was more with the scalp. When the Native Americans were scalped and the scalp brought in for bounty and that kind of thing. I didn't know that. But
all right. History lesson with Brian Bailey here today.
Yeah, I like those. Anyway,
all right.
But but I tell you what I did say going into it. I said it's not going to ruin my Thanksgiving, and it didn't. I had a great Thanksgiving. That is the best holiday.
It is.
I mean, it's the greatest of all the holidays. Melissa and Bella go to a movie. I get the whole house to myself. Love you guys, but they go to a movie, and it's a great deal.
And I've had it 4 meals in a row now. Because I had my wife cooked an awesome meal. I got a to-go plate from my parents. And between all of that, I have not had to purchase food since Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's been incredible.
I've had a lot of turkey. I made a Cajun turkey this year for the first time.
Man.
That was good, yeah.
You bring it in?
No. Well, I eat it all, basically.
Oh, okay. All right. We got that out of the way.
We got it out of the way.
Are we friends again? Are we okay?
We're all right.
Haley
I still don't like Weaver.
Well, that's fine.
That has nothing to do with the Team Redskins either.
Unrelated.
I'm just kidding there.
Unrelated to anything.
Yeah.
All right. How about the Pirates today, Double B? Was it last year you made the trip?
Yes. I was there for the SMU game. And really going into that game last year, the Pirates were big underdogs. We really didn't know if the Pirates would be able to move the football at all. I mean, we knew they'd move it some, but we had no idea it was going to be like it was with the fireworks and just up and down the field. And, if the Pirates hadn't botched a kickoff return at one point, that game could have gone to overtime because nobody was stopping anybody.
Yeah. It was who had the ball last, and SMU was able to have it last. We watched the highlights a moment ago, converting a 4th down and 3, kind of a gutsy call around the 40-yard line. That was one of the issues last year, Bailey, is SMU on 4th down.
Yeah.
You can get off the field, including a 4th and 20.
Right.
I'm sure you remember.
Yeah, I remember that, and it seemed like, they were, what was the stat? They were like 5 for 5 on 4th down with 4 touchdowns or something crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, they scored on 4th down, so that was wild, and we hope to see that Pirate offense crank up again. Maybe there's something in that SMU defense that the Pirates can pick apart again, because the Pirates were incredible on offense last year in the SMU game.
Yeah, able to do whatever they wanted.
They were that way in Cincinnati last year, and it didn't pan out this year.
A lot of Tyler Snead in that game last year.
He was wide open the whole day,
and he was the star of the week last week.
Holton was finding him left and right, and he was running. That was a beautiful day in Dallas too. That was a great afternoon for football.
Pirates now have a little running game to go with that passing game, and the problem is, Bailey, that the passing game just has not been a well-oiled machine in 2020. But again, you just mentioned it. It was not heading into the SMU game last year. So maybe this could wake them up a little bit, and they could put some points on the board this afternoon.
You guys talked about in the first hour the offensive line issues that East Carolina has had, and maybe that's part of the deal where, if Holton's not confident back there, protection wise, and perhaps they're keeping another person in to try to protect him, and maybe that's got something to do with why guys aren't free in the secondary as well. So, there's a whole lot of different things that go on as far as that goes, and hopefully they can crank it up and get it going today.
Got a big giveaway coming up this hour. In fact, we'll do it after the next segment. Let's take a time out right now. Shirley Rhodes will come back. We'll talk more ECU SMU. Get Bailey's thoughts on the Pirates basketball win.
That was fun
yesterday. Pirates are 1-0 after knocking off
undefeated
that is
East Carolina basketball.
We got that and more on the way on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Back with you after this.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery. Slash delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
You know texting while driving is dangerous. That's not new information. Yet most people admit to doing it anyway. Drivers are 23 times more likely to be involved in a car accident while texting. Know the facts and wait to text. The danger is real and it applies to you. Auto Owners Insurance. The no problem people. Information provided by Virginia Tech Transportation Institute.
This is Brian Smith with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Buick GMC Truck. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, get an all-new 2020 Buick for 0% for 84 months or save over $6,000 off all models. As always, Brown & Wood is the home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
This holiday season, get the perfect stocking stuffer from our friends at Sawyer's Fun Park. If you purchase a Sawyer's gift card now, they'll add bonus bucks to it. Here's how it works. Buy a $20 card, get $10 added on. Buy a $40 gift card, and you get $20 added on. If you buy a $60 gift card, you get $30 added on. Or if you buy a $100 gift card, you get $50 added to that card. It's bonus bucks. Going on now, only at Sawyer's Fun Park on Quarry Road in Winterville.
Hey everybody, this is David Glenn, and you're listening to my favorite station in Eastern North Carolina, Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Join us immediately after today's game between the Pirates and SMU for the one and only US Cellular 5th quarter call-in show. Coach Rick Smith will be in studio and will be taking your calls on the Fixed NC Live line at 317-1250. Plus, we'll read your Facebook Live comments and your tweets at PR927FM. When the 4th quarter ends, it's the U.S. Cellular 5th quarter call-in show right here on the voice of the Pirate Nation. Now let's head back into the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
All right, thanks to Patrick tuning in. Sent a nice picture of Bailey and I.
Yeah.
Washington and Dallas fans giving thanks with each other.
Yeah.
Being friendly. That's what it's all about, Bailey.
Is that what it's all about?
That's what it's all about. Come on, you got to feel good for Alex Smith, though, right?
Oh, I do. I like Alex Smith. I like Ron Rivera. I can't believe you got all these people I like on your football team.
All right.
It's really
you
ticking
like
me
the whole
off.
team.
It's
That's
really
great.
ticking me off. Those are great stories. I mean, Ron Rivera was a class act with Carolina in Charlotte, and him going through the cancer, and we know so many people that battle cancer, and the fights all over the place. So you got to respect that. That's one of those things. I just can't believe all those nice people are working for such.
You got some great folks in the organization, Brian Bailey.
Yeah, great folks.
Great folks here at Pirate Radio as well, including Double B, Brian Bailey, as we roll on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Before we get back to football, real quick, Double B, how about the Pirates winning a road game to start the 2020-2021 basketball season? A game that was scheduled, I guess, midweek last week, right? They were able to put together a game in Charlotte. Unfortunately, will not be playing against Belmont Abbey today. But Jeff Charles did say that ECU was working to add another game before they take on Radford at Minges coming up next Saturday.
I've never heard the term MTE before.
Me neither. I mean, and everybody's acting like we've known it our entire lives.
Well, it's another MTE. I was like, okay, somebody tell me what that means.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you. I did a whole segment on that the other day on the show.
Yeah, multiple team event.
Like, I've watched the Maui Invitational my entire life. I never knew it was an MTE.
I don't see it on the trophy anywhere.
I don't either, but apparently that.
And hopefully they can get another game in.
So is ECU the champion of that MTE?
I think so. That one. I believe they are. They should get a trophy for that. But, the best part about watching the game on the stream, it was on the YouTube stream for Charlotte, and it wasn't a great production, obviously, but the best part about watching Pirate basketball
said we knew all the guys. Remember the last couple of years?
Yeah.
You go, I remember talking to Joe, and Joe's, you'll like this guy, you'll like that guy, and then you have to go, you watch him play a little bit, and then we got a chance to interview him, which we haven't had a lot of chances so far this year because of the COVID. But watching the game yesterday, we knew all those guys.
That's a great point. You did not need a program to know who the Pirates were, and it was a lot of Jaden Gardner. It was a lot of Tristan Newton yesterday, Bailey. He was really kind of holding things together there in the first half when ECU was struggling a little bit.
And I think they will shoot the basketball better from the outside and the 3-point line, but they had a couple of clutch threes. Baruti always hits a clutch three.
Yeah.
But he's Mr. Clutch every once in a while. So he had a big three in that game. That was just fun to watch. You know the struggles that Pirate basketball has had through the years, and for them to go on the road, they can't win on the road usually. They go whole seasons without winning on the road basically almost, and that was a big win for them.
All right, Pirates play again next Saturday. Maybe before that, we'll keep you up to date. Are you still texting Dooley about games, Bailey? You're the agent, right?
He didn't like my last text. He finally texted me back. I texted. I said, "Hey, Duke's looking for a game," and he said, "We haven't talked to them yet." That's all he said. He didn't joke. He didn't do it. He's like, "We haven't talked to them yet."
Okay, well, at least he responded to you. That's nice.
He did.
All right, back to football, Bailey. How about this 2020 season coming to an end today? Kind of weird to say, right? But everything's been weird, I guess.
Yeah, we're going to look back at this season and wonder how we all got through it, because you think about all the COVID tests and back in August when we didn't know we were going to have a football season, and I still go back to that August, middle of August when the Big Ten came out and said we're not playing.
Oh yeah,
Pac-12 we're not playing. I thought, man, it's coming to a head today, boys. We're going to have a lonely fall. But some leagues, put the protocols out there. They had some hiccups, obviously. They've had some bumps in the road. Credit East Carolina. They've had a relatively smooth. I mean, if you take away the Holton Ahlers positive that turned out to be a negative, I think they did a great job. Now, they lost some players, because of the COVID from time to time, but I think they did a nice job of keeping everything, in their particular bubble and getting all the games in. But man,
outside of the Navy deal with Holton, and then last week with what was happening before kickoff,
that was brutal.
It was about as normal as it could be for ECU in 2020 with their 9-game schedule, and able to get this final game in today. They decided not to add any other games, and I think a lot of that just has to do, Mike Houston talked about it, with all the postponements and cancellations. You see that just better off kind of punting on the rest of this year.
Well, that and the fact that you have to keep all the kids, on campus, and somebody has to pay for all of that.
Yeah.
And once they finish up, they'll be heading out of town Monday or so, and those guys will be gone now for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So they'll be on their own working out, and I'm sure they'll be, getting up with Big John trying to get some kind of workouts in that they can start, because they don't want to come back in the middle of January, fat and happy, because Big John's going to start working on them. So they want to be in some kind of shape when they get back in mid-January and start their winter conditioning. But hopefully the winter conditioning will be closer to normal. Hopefully spring football will be closer to normal. I don't think it's going to be normal for all of us. I don't think we'll have a pigskin pig out again this year. I don't think we'll be able to go out and cover the team like we would like to, but I think we'll at least be a step closer to maybe getting back to normal.
And man, Mike Houston talks about the off season about as much as he does the regular season, and he is really hoping for a full off season of work. He mentioned last week about how CJ Johnson has never had a spring practice and things like that. So he's really hoping for a solid off season, and this team needs it to build.
This team really needs it. And I've said this a number of times during the preseason that I think a program like in East Carolina really benefits more from some of that extra work than maybe some other programs, and so it hurt them more that they lost all of that this past year.
SMU, Bailey, Buechele back.
Buechele's a great quarterback, NFL-type quarterback. We may see him on Sundays. And Ulysses Bentley the fourth, man, I love that.
That's a great name.
That is a great name. I think he's the 4th leading rusher in the nation, the leading rusher in the American Athletic Conference, and he's a good one. So you're gonna have to stop the run, or at least slow the run down some. But they can do it all. They're really good.
It's great to now have opposing defenses say that about ECU. Hey, we got to stop this run. We got to stop stop Rajay Harris. We got to stop this Keaton Mitchell guy who all of a sudden is putting up 100-yard games.
Yeah, and that's a great 1-2 punch. And if Coach Houston can go out and get him a couple more running backs to add to that room in recruiting, I mean, just think these guys. I mean, this was a mulligan year, so next year the clock starts for real. So they've got a chance to play a lot of college football if they can stay healthy and if they want to stay in school. And I think it's a tremendous opportunity if everybody can work it out. I mean, you can get your degree, you can get a start on grad school, you can there's a lot of stuff you can do.
Yeah, a lot of decisions to be made regarding who's coming back next year and everything, and also what is the depth chart going to look like when we return to football next September with all these great running backs ECU has? They're going to have everybody's going to be back.
Yeah.
And you're going to add some more guys.
Senior day today, and there's 7 seniors that are going to take part in it. And the coaching staff gave everybody that is supposed to be a senior this year the opportunity to take part. But a lot of those guys said, I think Bibbins is one of them, said, no, I'm coming back. I don't want to take part.
And I know you're a Bruce fan.
He's hilarious.
And man, it was great to see him have a good game last week.
He
was
played
awesome.
really well. He was all over the field, and those guys get beat up so bad, and I think sometimes their play reflects that. But on the stat sheet you don't say he's got a bum shoulder, he's got this, but that's why I think sometimes you'll see a guy and all of a sudden he'll rise up and play like he thought he would play all year, and he's just been banged up a little bit.
Great performance by that defense. You were able to talk to Blake Harrell on Monday on the Brian Bailey Show. Blake Harrell, very happy about that, very happy that he's done with the bad test. He said, Bailey. He said he had one more bad one to go, and he was ready to get it over with.
Those coaches crack me up talking about that COVID test, and I've only gotten tested once.
Me too.
And it was bad. It was bad, but I can't imagine going through it 3 times a week and all that. I just can't imagine it, because it's just such an awkward deal, and it's just. Be glad when that's over too. A lot of this year's over.
No doubt about it. The Pirates they're not the 85 Bears, but I like what Blake Harrell's done year 1 as defensive coordinator, and I feel like that they have put, especially, you didn't know who was going to be on the D-line going into this year. You had question marks all over the place. They're starting to get more answers, I think, on that defensive side of the ball.
I think that, and they've gotten some surprises on that defensive side of the football and the defensive
Elijah
line.
Morris,
so he's just been, and I asked Blake this on Monday. There are certain kids in programs that they rise to the top as far as earning a scholarship, and there are guys who just seem to be around the football. When the ball pops loose, there are certain guys that always seem to be there, and he's one of those guys. We got 3 fumble recoveries.
Yeah,
I mean, guys go through the program. Great players go through the program, and careers and don't get 3 fumble recoveries.
Brian Bailey joining us. Gang out one more segment, Bailey?
Yeah.
All right, we'll get
as long as you need me, I'm here.
Your final keys to the game for ECU and SMU. A few final thoughts with Double B, Brian Bailey. I tell you what, Shirley. Oh man, but you're playing a great theme. Yeah, we'll roll the theme, and let's go ahead and give away our tickets right now.
We had a fumble in there, I think.
She all right?
Yeah, my headphone cord got tangled up in my chair. I couldn't move.
Had some issues going on there. All right.
A lot of issues.
317-1250. What caller do you want to do?
Let's do caller number 8.
Caller 8 wins how many tickets?
2
tickets.
2 tickets.
To ECU SMU coming up. What do they have to do? Come pick them up?
They need to come to the studio and be able to pick them up before 12 o'clock.
All right, so if you can get here before noon, pick up the tickets. Call 317-1250. We'll do caller 8 and Deadwood. Great show. I want to go back and watch this again. One of my favorites.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, you'd like Deadwood. Check out Deadwood.
Really?
Double B. All right, we'll take a timeout. Come back. You can win 2 tickets to the game. 317-1250. We're back after this.
Great food, great atmosphere, and great service is Ottavola Market Cafe. Ottavola is simply a restaurant that focuses on that, being a great restaurant. There's something for everyone at Ottavola. The menu offers a variety of great choices like pastas, pizzas, sandwiches, soups, salads, and seasonal rotating selections. Lunch or dinner, Ottavola is always the right call. Call ahead and get Ottavola to go, or stop by the bar for a drink with friends. It's simple. Come and eat at Ottavola Market Cafe, Red Banks Road next to Food Lion, and OttavolaMarket.com. Ottavola, Pirates supporting pirates.
Do you think you might have been exposed to COVID-19? Maybe you're planning to visit parents, family, or friends. Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers same-day COVID-19 results. No referral needed. Same-day results available. Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers easy solutions to COVID-19 testing. Arc Point Labs of Greenville is located across from Vidant Hospital on Executive Circle behind Southern Bank. Call for an appointment or walk in. Arc Point Labs of Greenville, 215-5688 or arcpointlabs.com.
2020 certainly hasn't been the year many of us were hoping for, but one thing has stayed the same. I'm Tim Sutton with Greenville Auto World, and our commitment to our customers has never wavered. Let Greenville Auto World show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Greenville. We believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Your vehicle is a big investment, and our customers trust us to keep them up and running with outstanding service and value. With Greenville Auto World, cross from Hardee's at Bell's Fork.
Let's turn a trip to the branch into a tap on your phone. Let's hit pause on a lost debit card without hitting pause on life. That's how First National Bank is redefining convenience with a top-rated mobile app that puts more security and control at your fingertips and friendly people to help you succeed right by your side. Let's get started at fnb-online.com or your local First National Bank. FNB member FDIC.
If you're recovering from an injury, getting back into sports, dealing with everyday pain or fatigue, then Kinetic Physical Therapy and Wellness can help you get back on track and live well. Kinetic's award-winning staff features a TPI golf specialist that offers assessments and rehab to help you get back on the course and playing your best.
This is Dr. Shondell Jones, and you deserve to live well. Call us at 364-2806 or visit kptonline.com. Go Pirates!
You can paint these peaches purple!
Classic sports moments never get old, and neither does classic food from CPW's. CPW's classic menu is back with all of your favorites like tortellini CPW's, Cajun chicken and pasta, classic lasagna, the garbage pizza, the stromboli, calzone, Atlantic salmon, the Cajun fried shrimp wrap, and more. Start every meal off with your favorite beverage and CPW's fresh baked bread and garlic butter. CPW's, serving classics in Greenville since 1995. Stanton Square near the hospital.
This is Coach Steve Shankweiler, offensive line coach for East Carolina University football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. Watch all of Pirate Radio's local programming on YouTube Live. Go to YouTube and search for Pirate Radio TV and subscribe today. Watch Pirate Radio Live Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. and the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate and the US Cellular fifth quarter on game days. Just go to YouTube and search Pirate Radio TV and subscribe. By the way, congratulations to James Gentry of Greenville, won the tickets, and I apologize to caller number 7 because I can't do math, so I was a little off. But I apologize to caller number 7 because I was trying to say you're caller number 7 and I inadvertently said you're caller number 8. No, wait, you're 7. So I am so sorry.
Surely fix the results.
Wow. No, I didn't fix the results. I had to do it the right way. I had to be fair, and I screwed it up.
That election. What it sounds like to me.
Well, I've been jumpy. I got my cord tangled up in my chair. I've knocked something over. I'm knocking things over down the hall. I don't know what's going on with me today. Yeah, I'm a little jumpy. I don't know why. Maybe it's too much food. I don't know.
I see some people asking. I have not been to a live sporting event this year, including an ECU football game. Bailey, you've been over there. Not as a fan, but maybe you can answer. Mary asking CJ on Twitter, where do you park if you go to a game this year?
Well, you beg for a parking pass like I do. Mm-hmm. I think there's some general parking over there. I think because I don't think there's enough. There are parking passes for like the media. I think is in Clark LeClaire parking lot now, and there's some other passes with the Town Bank Tower area and then the other side of the stadium. But I think there's some. I think Lower Minges might be right. General
Chandler, you went to a game. Where did you park when you went?
Yeah, I went to the Tulane game, but I live right there at the stadium, so.
So can people park at your house?
He's like Baker Mayfield. He lives at the stadium. How about that?
How much are you charging people to park at your house?
I don't know.
10, 20?
$10 since it's
all
like
right. Well, you can do that.
An off year, I guess.
All right. Well, good luck, folks.
He's like Baker Mayfield. He locks the door, Dowdy Ficklin. And
I go and get the mail.
Yeah.
And I blow the leaves and everything.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Does it all.
I actually told Joey Perry, I said, just get out of here. I'll cut the grass. And all that.
I don't think
better not walk on his grass. I'll tell you that much.
Don't even look at it, in fact.
Yeah.
All right, Bailey. The Pirates, can they keep up? I thought the line of this game would be a little higher than it is. It's 11.5, 12.5, something like that.
I was thinking less than
more
2 touchdowns,
14.5, something like that. But what do you think about this game today?
Well, I think they can stay in it. I think they're going to have to score. I think if the Pirates are going to win, they're going to have to score, into the 30s, maybe even as high as 40. It may be like 38, 35, something like that. If they can hang in there and keep up, it's just going to be one of those deals. If it's like last year's game, 59-51, that's 110 points. I don't think we'll quite see that because I think the Pirates defense is better, but the Pirate offense is going to have to keep up. It's going to back and forth, and if they get behind, by a whole bunch, then they start airing it out, then I think that's when they'll have some real problems.
And the plan is going to stay the same, I would imagine, and that's ECU establishing a run. That's what this team wants to do. I guess that's Mike Houston football, right? If he was able to define it, Bailey, a tough, physical running team. That's what they want to do this year and moving forward.
That's what they want to do, but I think a lot of it dictates though how it goes early. If you get down 14-0 early, then obviously you're gonna have to throw it out the window and start flipping it around. But I think they really want to control the football. They want to take care of the football. That's the big one that Jeff and you talked about. Yeah. They've got to protect the football and they can't turn it over. And it'd be nice if they could get a couple of turnovers. When SMU drives all the way down the field and if you can pop one loose around the goal line, that'll be big.
And we've seen too many interceptions. We've seen too many times where Rajay Harris has been stood up and is fighting for yards and the ball gets ripped out. We've seen that, 3 times, I think, this year. And that's just something he's going to have to get better at because you're not going to tell him to go down. I mean, you're going to tell him to keep on fighting, but hold on to the football, right?
Yeah, he wants to keep fighting, but you've got to hold on to the football. And teams are taught, when the guys, a couple of guys are holding him up, the other 2 or 3 guys were punching that thing out. And now I'm talking about the roundhouse punch. They're going after it. So he's got to do a better job of protecting the football.
Defensively, ECU, and you blitz an inexperienced quarterback like they did last week. You blitz an experienced one too. Somebody had dialed into your show on Monday and told Blake Harrell the game plan, blitz some more, right?
Well, yeah, that sounds good on paper, but when you do that, you're leaving those defensive backs, one-on-one in a lot of spots.
Pick your poison, right?
Right, and I think you'll see a little bit of a mix. I think they've got to mix up their coverages as well. They've got to try to confuse an experienced quarterback, and I'm looking forward to this SMU offense is really, really good, and this should be fun.
Rick Smith had a question during the post-game show last week. Said, what happened to that boy? He's talking about Jake Verity. What the kicking operation, Bailey? That was the one thing we could count on every week. That's been struggling lately.
It has been, and I know that's probably really got them shaking their heads because what did he go 3 straight games with a blocked field goal? Was that
had one last week and had a chip shot miss as well last week?
So he's been Mr. Consistency, and he's really, really good. And I guess they look back at the tape to kind of figure out what's going on. But rarely do you see any East Carolina kicker go through 3 straight games with a block. So that's been one of those oddities. That's 2020.
Some things to clean up going into this game against SMU. And again, kind of crazy to think, Bailey, that the season's almost over. How about have you thought about Touchdown Friday at all, looking ahead to 2021 and what's the likelihood that this high school season goes off without a hitch?
I go day to day on that one. I'm not sure if they can get it, if they can do it or not. We've gone through volleyball so far a little bit. Basketball starts practicing first week, maybe this week, first week of December, they start practicing. Wow. And then the first games.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting close.
In January. So, they start practicing February the 8th, I think, is the first day of high school football practice. And then February 26th, they'll start playing games, playing a 7-game schedule. We'll do a Touchdown Friday, probably 15 minutes or 20 minutes tournaments on Friday nights. I'm looking forward to that because it's a lot of fun. It's just going to be so odd, how we're going to cover the games we want to cover and how we're going to cover Pirate baseball and everything that goes on right in there. But it'll be a challenge. It'll be a different kind of challenge, but it'll be fun.
And a lot of people are looking at how things are going right now with volleyball, right? Because that is the first sport back, and how is that being played and
playing with mask on? It's just really I don't know how you play basketball with a mask on. I think that's just
what they're
saying right now.
Oh boy,
I mean that's sucking a lot of air and trying to. I mean, I almost knocked myself out the other day. We went to and got a steak and one of those blooming onions the other day. Melissa and I did, and we were shopping. I bought a Diet Pepsi. Had the mask on. I burped, and I made my eyes water. Man, I almost died. Oh, that
sounds more like a personal deal.
Oh man, whew. I tell you what,
Brian Bailey.
Yeah,
that would have been a bad way to go.
It's been a bad way to go. Here lies Brian.
Brian, enjoyed it all season long, man. Thank you so much.
Enjoyed being here. Enjoyed everything you guys do. It was kind of a different year for all of us, but it was fun. Love the 4-hour pregame. Love the postgame, and Pirate Radio does a great job with everything they do with Ellerby and Troy. And looking forward to hopefully many, many more years.
What you got coming up Monday on the Brian Bailey Show?
Coach Rock's going to join us. Talk a little Pirate basketball. Steve Rockefeller. I'm going to ask him about your tweets too. We're gonna get him riled up.
Yeah, he's a lurker apparently, and had some comments on a tweet or two that I made. So
you're a Twitterer.
Hey, look, I keep it.
Yeah, you do.
Keep it entertaining. I try to.
Put a T-shirt up with a bad word on it. Bella saw it. She was ashamed of you.
Well, I apologize.
I'm just kidding. She didn't see it.
Okay, good. See, that did make me feel bad. If you see something, I don't care. If Bella does, that's a different story.
Oh, that was funny. I can see it in your eyes. You're like, man, I'm sorry, man.
I know. I'm about to delete my Twitter now because Bella saw a bad word. All right.
That was funny.
We'll get out of here.
Gotcha.
We will stay. You will get out of here.
Yes.
And
head to the Dowdy Ficklen Stadium for a little football.
We roll on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Hour number 2 continues after this.
Welcome to Jack Brown's. What can I get for you?
You guys got chicken strips?
Nah, we don't have those.
Can I get a salad?
No, we don't carry salads, ma'am.
Well, what do you have?
We are glad you asked. This ain't no regular degular. This is American Wagyu beef.
These ain't your Uncle Timmy's charcoal bricks.
Kiss the cook, kiss my grits. Our burgers are 4 ounces of hand-pressed, made-to-order, perfectly seasoned ecstasy in a potato roll.
4 ounces not big enough for you, big man? Double patty time!
Or just grab a cheeseburger.
Jack Brown's, 805 Dickinson Avenue, Greenville.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
Temperatures are in the low 30s at 10 a.m., increasing sharply to 75 degrees by 1 p.m., and then dropping into the teens by 10 p.m. So before you go to work, put on some gloves, pack some shorts, and a parka. That should cover you for the day.
Your heating and cooling is taking a beating. Guarantee your family's comfort all fall and winter with a new train system. It's hard to stop a train. For a limited time, get a new train system with 0% financing for 60 months. Go to DelcorInc.com for more information. Delcor, the service professionals. See your independent train dealer for details. Call 1-888-534-6898 for details.
Hi, this is Billy Parker, and football is here. Tailgate at home with family and friends this season and let Parker's Barbecue do all the cooking. While tailgating at your house, let us provide all the food with our delicious chicken, barbecue, seafood, and sides. We can customize packages for any size group, big or small. Give us a call today and place your order. Parker's and football, a winning combination. Also shipping nationwide at parkersbbq.com. Parker's Barbecue is how friends and family come together.
This is Coach Donnie Kirkpatrick, offense coordinator for ECU football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Listen to Pirate Radio Live every weekday afternoon from 3 until 6 p.m. on 92.7 FM in Greenville and 104.1 in Washington, or watch on YouTube or Facebook Live. PRL is hosted by Clip Brock and yours truly, and features the latest breaking news, top-notch guests, and all of your favorite Pirate Radio personalities, like Troy D. and Ellerby, The Voice, Jeff Charles, Brian Bailey, Stephen Igo, Billy Weaver, Brian North, Tony Collins, Bryce Williams, Coach Rick Smith, Ronnie Woodward, Morgan Ehlers, Mike Mullis, and more. Join us coming up on Monday, starting at 3 o'clock for Pirate Radio Live, and don't forget, coming up on Tuesday, we will open up the annual Pirate Radio Holiday Treasure Chest. We've got our treasure chest locked and loaded. That thing's so overflowing with pirate booty that we can't move that thing. We'll give it away starting on Tuesday right here on the Voice of the Pirate Nation. Now let's head back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
Yeah, we got a ton of prizes in the treasure chest this year. We have one more giveaway to go on this show. We already handed out a couple of tickets for the game today. We will be giving away a case of Bud Light and Parker's Barbecue. $25 gift card to Parker's Barbecue.
I'm not getting too close to the camera, but you can see there's a long list of prizes there.
That is the treasure chest, which we'll be opening up on Tuesday. So we'll have a lot of fun throughout December, giving away great prizes here on Pirate Radio. All right, back with you on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Clip Rock, Shirley Rhodes, Chandler Honeycutt. I'm going to say the star of my Thanksgiving dish this year, my wife's sweet potato casserole this year was phenomenal. And that was my go-to this year, Thursday and throughout Friday. Shirley, how about you? What was the star of the dish for you this year?
Oh, man. I would have to say probably the one thing that I ate the most of was my hash brown casserole.
What's in that?
It is a very simple recipe, and I will give a shout out to one of my best childhood friends, Nikki. Her mom actually has the recipe, and I just use her recipe. But it is cream of chicken, sour cream, thawed hash browns, cheese, maybe a little diced onion if you'd like to.
Okay.
And a little salt and pepper. Stick it in the oven for 40 minutes at 350, and voila.
Voila. I like that. All right.
Yeah, it's
okay.
really good. Oh, and a little bit of butter.
Chandler,
Yep.
what was the star of the dish?
I kept finding myself going back for the macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
After about the third time, I said, Aunt Veronica, I said, did you make this macaroni and cheese? And she had this little grin on her face, and I was like, did you make it? She was like, yeah. I said, no, you didn't. It kind of find out it was prepackaged, but it was good. We had turkey and ham, and
awesome.
The stuffing was really good too. And then there was these little bread rolls. And do you ever have Hawaiian rolls?
Oh yeah.
They have like a little sweet taste to them.
Yeah.
Well, these rolls did too, and they were fantastic. So the Honeycutts had a very good Thanksgiving.
Awesome. We do sliders a lot, make burgers, and we use the Hawaiian rolls as the bread in those. So big fan of those as well. All right. Hopefully you all had a fantastic Thanksgiving. ECU set for their final game of the season, and Brian Bailey said something a moment ago. 2020 will be remembered by fill in the blank, and a lot of people have a lot of different answers for that. Mike Houston was asked about that this week. Shirley, this is Cut 6. How will your 2020 season be remembered?
None of us have ever been through anything like this, and I do think the one, cautiously say, wise thing that the NCAA did was giving everyone an extra year of eligibility. I think that's wise from the standpoint of none of the players were prepared for this season. I mean, you look at why certain things are happening. I think this is something to really discuss, publicly a little bit, after the season's over with. Not having spring practice and summer training, you cannot grasp the impact that had on our young players, the negative impact that had on our young players. So they were not prepared for a college football season the way they should be. especially to play a 12-game schedule. On the other hand, I am thankful for the games that we have gotten to play, because without getting spring practice, I mean, C.J. Johnson has never had a spring practice. I mean, you guys would say he's a pretty veteran player. He's never had a spring practice. The vast majority of our team has never had an off season. That is something that's so critical to the development of this program as we build it. So I'm thankful for the games we've had this fall, because we've been able to, get more out of this than you would have a spring practice. You've been able to get so much experience for guys. You've been able to see what a lot of guys can do, what some can't do. You saw some position changes. You're going to see some more because of things that happen on the field this fall. And the great thing is, I think you have been able to bring the group together culturally, cohesively, and you see that from, the videos you've seen from inside our locker room, or if you've been able to be at practice every day. This team does practice. They practice full speed. They practice with some physicality. There's not they don't loaf around the practice field. We've got some positive habits in place. So there's so much positive coming out of playing this fall. And, we've shown, closing the gap competitively with other teams in our conference and winning multiple conference games. Are you going to look back and say, you should have gotten Navy, or you got Tulsa and you got, didn't get it? Yeah, you can say all that stuff, but we got to play those games. And so there's been so much good and bad. It is a special season. It is unlike any other that I've ever had. I hope I never have one like this again. We're going to take a team photo on Saturday on Sunday, because I do think that this group, there's something to be said about the perseverance that it took to make it through 2020 in a pandemic. So how's it going to be remembered? It's going to be remembered for a lot of different things.
All right, Mike Houston with a good answer there regarding 2020 and everything that has transpired. How important is it to finish this season off strong and give you some momentum heading into the off season? Houston was asked about that. This is Cut 7, Charlotte.
The team on Sunday, and I think that they, there's no doubt that they feel the exact same way. You want to finish the season strong. You want to see us put together the complete ball game. I think we've done that a little bit against South Florida, a little bit against Tulsa. Certainly there were some strong phases against Navy. There were some strong phases against Temple. But as far as everything clicking in all three phases, we haven't. I don't think we've done that this year. And so that's a big thing I talked to them about on Sunday. I promise you they want to. And my message, here in a few minutes when we talk to them, is going to be, let's have those kind of practices we talked about on Sunday. We got to have that kind of Tuesday practice today. Everybody trying to sync on the same page. That's going to take a lot of focus. It's going to take a lot of effort. But I do think we have positive momentum coming out of being able to pull one off up in Philadelphia when whether we were going to play or not was really in question. And so I think that positive momentum we can use to build on this week, and hopefully we can see that kind of performance on Saturday.
Today's opponent, the high-flying SMU Mustangs. Mike Houston gave his thoughts on the ponies. Cut 3, Shirley.
Well, I think that SMU, a very solid program, senior quarterback who is one of the best ones in our conference. Really, really talented skill positions. Defensively, I think that they are an improved unit from last year. I think they're playing better together. And looking at them, a very complete group on special teams. So, I think that they are, exactly what the record says they are. They're a 7-2 team. It's one of the better teams in our league. And it's going to be a great challenge this weekend. But, just like every other game we've had, our kids are excited for the opportunity. And, we're excited for, the matchup, and look forward to being able to kick off at 12 o'clock here in Daddy Ficklin Stadium.
All right, and a great moment after the game on last Saturday, ECU knocking off Temple 28-3, and great celebration in the locker room. The cameras were on as well. as Mike Houston told Elijah Morris of some good news that he would be earning a scholarship. Houston had actually already told Morris's parents about it, and he broke the news to Morris inside the locker room. And Cut H, Shirley, he talked about that moment.
The right moment, and like I told him, I spoke to his father about a month ago because that kid's he's earned the right to be on scholarship here at East Carolina, and he bet on himself. He had multiple scholarship opportunities at lower divisions. He came to our camp twice, summer before last. Came here and walked on. Was given nothing, earned everything, and I wanted it to be the right moment. And I just thought, he had the big turnover early in the ball game. That another example of him being in the right place at the right time. He had a very solid performance on Saturday, and I wanted to be exactly what it turned out to be because he has the traits and the things about him as a person, and be able to coach him. He is what you enjoy about coaching. He's a kid that's going to maximize his God-given ability. He's going to be a great teammate. He's going to be a great leader. He's got that toughness. Plays hard. All those traits that you're building the program on. And so to be able to celebrate that after a win with his teammates, and for them to see that because they watch him every day. They see what he puts into his preparation each day, and they see that he's earned it. And so to have them, be able to celebrate there with him on Saturday it's a special moment that he'll never forget. It's a special moment I'll never forget, and I'm sure the rest of his family, just a special moment for them.
All right, and we'll also, if you're at the game today, see some Senior Day ceremonies, and Mike Houston was asked about that. This is cut 2. Of course, these seniors will have the opportunity to be seniors once again in 2021. So what will be going on today?
There will, and much like the entire 2020, things are just different this year. And I think back to my last game as a college player in Senior Day. And being able to walk out with my parents, and still got the photo of mom and dad on either side of me, and being recognized in front of a full home stadium. That is not our reality this year, and that's I really feel for those student athletes participating in our Senior Day this week, from a standpoint of they're not going to have that opportunity to have the parents down there with them. They're not going to have the opportunity to be recognized in front of a packed Dottie Ficklin Stadium. It is going to be just like everything else with 2020. It's going to be significantly impacted. We'll have a small group that we'll be recognizing on Saturday, and it's a group that has contributed greatly to the program in their time here, and will leave here as graduates of East Carolina University. And prepared to make, positive impact on, our society. And, I look forward to honoring them, but I just do feel for them in that it's not going to be, the traditional Senior Day recognition that we all, recognize.
All right, there's the head football coach of the Pirates, Mike Houston, as ECU gets set to take on SMU a couple hours away from kickoff. We will take a timeout here on the Bud Light pregame tailgate, and hour 3 is on the way. Stephen Igo, Ronnie Woodward going to join me inside the Pirate Radio studios. When we return, we'll get their thoughts on the action that will take place at Dottie Ficklin Stadium this afternoon. That's on the way on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Back with you after this.
Hi, this is Scott Muller with Clean Eats. Carol and I would like to personally thank all of you for supporting Clean Eats so well through these tough times. We are blessed to have such a great community helping us weather the storm. If you're having trouble consistently eating healthy, go to cleaneats.com and click on meal plans and give our tasty and affordable meals a try. Or stop by the cafe for lunch and let us show you just how simple and easy it is to get started and stay on track. Clean Eats, it's a lifestyle. 805 Red Banks Road, Arlington Village.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is proud ECU graduate and former baseball player Brandon Manning inviting you to join my team at Farm Bureau Insurance. Right now, during hurricane season, is a good time to review your coverage with a local trusted agent like me. I will make myself available before or after business hours, and my clients always have my cell phone number if they need anything. From home, auto, or life, give me a call today and let's talk about your insurance coverage and about the Pirates. Call 531-1812 and go Pirates!
Hey, Pirate fans, get ready for a winning season and get things done right with the John Deere Tractor Package from Quality Equipment. You can't afford to lose on your home turf, so we'll help you get the driveway done right at the right price. Right now, our 1023E driveway package starts as low as $148 per month. So get quality done right before every ECU football weekend. Visit QualityEquip.com. Offer ends 12/31/2020. Subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Domino's week-long carry-out deal means you can carry out 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each every day. That's right, $7.99 each, and every day means any day. But just in case there's any confusion, we've set up a helpful website to confirm if today's a day you can carry out 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each at Domino's. Just go to howabouttoday.com to find out if Domino's week-long carry-out deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carry out only. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, and charges may vary. Excludes extra large and specialty pizzas. Crust availability varies by size.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back for the latest breaking news, interesting stories, and awesome contests that can make you a winner. Be sure to follow Pirate Radio on our social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at PR927FM. Join the close to 50,000 followers today at PR927FM. Now let's head back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
All right, back with you on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. We've got a Bud Light Parker's Barbecue giveaway coming up later on this hour, so tune in for that. I got the highlights running from last year's ECU SMU game, and there were a lot of highlights in the 59-51 Mustangs win. Stephen Igo, Ronnie Woodward joining me and watching some of these highlights now. Welcome to the program, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Wow.
What's up?
What a start. That was like an angry. You're very welcome, Stephen.
I'm actually watching Tay Williams pick up the splits. And
you think Tay Williams is going to have a big impact today?
Oh,
nice. Where is Tay Williams?
I have no idea. I could probably figure it out if I looked it up, but I don't think Tay Williams would play even if he was here. Although he's breaking off a nice run in these highlights.
The ECU has found their running backs for this year and moving forward with Rajay Harris and Keaton Mitchell. One thing I did notice watching these highlights, and let's start on the defensive side of the ball. A new defensive coordinator this year for the Pirates, Blake Harrell, Bob Trott. I was thinking about this, guys. How much fun would Bob Trott Zooms have been this season?
Man. Those would have been miserable.
They wouldn't have lasted very long.
Nah, it'd have been short.
For sure.
Bob Trott.
Rolling to Cincinnati.
There would have been a lot of mute buttons, I feel like.
A lot
I can't
of
figure this thing out. Why is this thing muted?
So SMU, I don't know what the recruiting says. I'll ask you, how does SMU recruit when it comes to AAC rankings in a normal year?
Right now, they have a really good class. They are third in the AAC for 2021. They've got a 4-star recruit named Preston Stone at quarterback, who's supposed to be the guy after Buchel. And they just picked up 2 guys that decommitted from Power 5 schools that are going there. So they're recruiting really well right now. I mean, when Sonny Dykes first got there, they kind of lived off transfers.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And they take a lot of JUCO kids, but it seems like now that they're starting to have success, they've got momentum. Texas is so easy to recruit. I mean, there are a lot of schools there, but when you have a good program in Texas, and let's be real, SMU can offer very strong academics too. You've got a nice little package there to sell.
Well, so player versus player wise, maybe they have a little more talent than the Pirates. Maybe they have a lot more talent than the Pirates. But another thing, they do have the veteran quarterback in Buchel, which we'll see today. But I've noticed a lot watching these highlights, like pre-snap movement by receivers, running backs.
Yeah.
So not only
can they outman you? They out-scheme you, and that was a factor in this game because a lot of these big plays and touchdowns, there's a guy moving in the backfield before the snap is made.
Yeah, that's just Sonny Dykes. I mean, he's always been an offensive mind. They've always scored wherever he's been. Now, the interesting thing about this is the first year Garrett Riley is the offensive coordinator at SMU, and last year it was Rhett Lashley. I can't remember where he's at right now, but he took a bigger job, and they brought in Lincoln Riley's brother, Garrett, who was slated to become the OC at App State. Tony Peterson took that job after Garrett went to SMU, so all sorts of ECU ties with that. But talking with Billy Embody from Pony Stampede, the SMU site, as good as their offense has been, it sounds like they haven't been as good as last year or as explosive as last year, especially over the last few weeks. So, they're averaging 38 points a game, and SMU fans aren't thrilled with Garrett Riley, even though he's gotten some buzz as a Power 5 OC already. So I'm sure the name helps, but watching their offense, a ton of RPO stuff. I mean, they do a really good job. I mean, like you said, Buechele pre-snap, post-snap, he's just so good at reading defenses. The one thing that I did look at with the numbers for Buechele, when he's not facing pressure per Pro Football Focus, he's got a 75% completion rate, 20 touchdowns, 1 pick. When he is under pressure, 40% completion rate, 3 picks, 1 touchdown.
So you got to get after him, and that's something Blake Harrell's defense has tried to do each and every week, rushing the quarterback, and we should see a lot of that coming up today. Rhett Lashley, by the way, making his presence felt at Miami, who needed a boost offensively, and they got it with De'Aaron King and the new coordinator. They were putting up some points. Ronnie, another factor in the game last year, SMU, do they even need a kicker or a punter? They like to go for it on 4th down, and the Pirates could not stop them on 4th down last year.
I looked in the depth chart this week because last year their punter was my man Trevor Denbo, a linebacker. Yeah, now he plays middle linebacker.
Wow.
But it looks like they have a real kicker this year who's also the punter. So the kicker and punter both, at least on the depth chart, are the same starter. But yeah, I don't think kicking is that.
And I'm sure they practice special teams, and it's important, but I wonder how many times they go for it today. What were they last year? 5 out of 5?
5. So I looked at their stats. It's pretty remarkable. Last year they went for it 30 plus times on 4th down. This year they've only gone for it 16 times because they're converting 48% on 3rd down, which is an elite stat. I mean, last year they were 38% on 3rd down, so they had to go for it on 4th down a lot. This year they're not even getting a 4th down. So now if they get in that position, if it's 4th and 6 at ECU's 40-yard line, they're not going to punt. I mean, they're going to go for it.
Yeah.
So that's just who they are. But the problem is people haven't been able to get them into 4th down.
And I think the thing, it all to me goes back to what we talked about earlier. And I think the key to really their little resurgence the last few years is Buechele. I mean, they hit on him. I mean, he was a starter at Texas. He wasn't, just a random Power 5 player who was 4th-string at Virginia Tech or, needed somewhere to play. He was a good player at Texas, and he left because Ellinger came in and beat him out. But I feel like he was the key to that whole thing, and he's the key to their whole team and offense, like we talked about, because they trust him to run the show. They have full confidence that he knows what he's doing and knows at all the players on the field that he's the most comfortable or knows what to do, and they trust him to do that stuff. So the one thing, looking at these highlights too, and y'all know this is my guy, Prochet, number 3, the receiver, is not there anymore. I know they have, and Steven's talked about it, they have some good talented receivers, but Prochet they just went to him so much, and they don't have him, but they still obviously have Buechele, and I think that's why they just trust him, and you gotta try and combat that or match that. One stat on him I wrote about this week, the first game of their season, he had 2 picks and 1 touchdown. Since then, he has 20 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So he just doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes. You got to try and beat him, and it's just tough to do.
We're seeing Ehlers make some big throws in this game from last year, but also he's running the football. Steven, I know it's been a topic that you've talked about with Donnie Kirkpatrick and kind of looked at the numbers, and that can be a factor for this offense and might be something the Pirates go to today.
Yeah, I mean, I just think for whatever reason, they don't feel like running Holton a lot this year, and I personally kind of disagree with it. I think he's more of a dual threat guy, especially, laterally he's not very quick, but when he gets going downhill, I think that's more of his game. And we saw that with the quarterback draw last week. Maybe since it's the last game of the year, they won't be as gun shy about getting him beat up with the running game. Because my thing is, if he sits in the pocket all day, he takes just as much of a beating. So I think running has to be part of his game. Now, he doesn't need to carry it 10 to 15 times, but just 5 times a game, I think, would help a lot. And they've gotten, as we see Zach Bird make a touchdown catch here.
That was a great play.
Like how graceful this is with the tip ball.
Maybe this is why they don't throw to the tight ends, because they can hardly catch.
Great concentration though to bring that one in.
There's Denbo too.
Yep,
the punter.
I remember being in the press box for that last year, and you could hear the ECU coaches almost lose it when he dropped it initially, because they were right beside us in the box up top. So
Jeff Charles had we played that interview earlier with Donnie Kirkpatrick, and just talking about the lack of a tight end in this offense in the passing game. Obviously the way ECU's running the ball, they're helping out in the run game, but just a non-factor in the passing game this year.
It really has been. I mean, last week they did complete a ball to the tight end, but it was like a 2-yard loss. So it's like, do you want to just throw the ball to the tight end just to throw it to this guy right here, 83, he looks almost like a receiver, even though he's a tight end for SMU. Like, I just don't think ECU is at that point where they have a weapon like that. Calhoun can be that in time, but right now he's not at that level. He's a true freshman. He's got a lot on his plate. Jeremy Lewis and Zach Bird, for whatever reason, have always been in and out of the lineup. So they're still not the depth they want there. And maybe if the Oklahoma transfer Ryan Jones shows up in January and enrolls, he can be. I mean, he's an elite level athlete, and if they have Ryan Jones in the program and he's eligible to play and all that, and they're still not throwing the ball to the tight end, then it's almost like, why even have a tight end if you're not going to utilize him in the passing game?
Player of the game last week for the Pirates was the player of the game last year in this matchup with SMU, Tyler Snead, as we see him score a touchdown right there. And Snead really got things going last week, guys, in the special teams game, and some good punt returns early, and was able to get a good kick return for a score later in the game. And that was one of the biggest factors in ECU being able to beat Temple easily last week in Philadelphia.
Yeah, and that's something today that, again, I think could be key, just because special teams is not SMU's strength. I don't think they put a whole lot of stock into it to some extent. I mean, I think they're, again, are pretty open about that. But special teams can be a strength for ECU when you look at Tyler Snead. Obviously, Jake Verity, would be interested to see how he does today. He's had an up and down season and had some struggles lately. So, but ECU's blocked some punts this year and gone after some punts and different things. So I think ECU's a little more aggressive and maybe opportunistic on special teams. And they certainly could use a Tyler Snead touchdown of some kind, or at least some field position, wins would be big for the Pirates.
We're still waiting on that punt return, right, Igo, for a touchdown?
He was close.
Yeah, he really was. I mean, he had the blocking. He just got tripped up a few times. So, I think they got to find a way to hit some explosive plays in this game, kind of like they did last year. I mean, the good thing is with that SMU style of defense, there will be plays there. They blitz a lot, they mix it up a lot, but they give up a lot of big plays. So, yeah, I mean, you would like to say they could hit something big on special teams, but I'm sure, goodness gracious, that defense was not good. But as Xavier Jones busts off an untouched 55-yard touchdown run. But, yeah, it's just, I just have a hard time seeing ECU's defense slowing down.
Yeah.
SMU.
If they win,
secondary,
it's going to have to be a shootout.
Yeah, right? I mean, they're going to have to score high 30s, 40s to win. Maybe I'm dead wrong, and SMU's not as good as last year, but it just seems like this is a tough matchup for ECU. Now, the other thing, too, and I asked this to Donnie, C.J. Johnson didn't play at all in this game last year. And Tyler Snead and the offense still had a huge game.
That's why we're seeing a lot of Amatosho and Josiah Hatfield, who has not been involved a lot this season.
Yep.
Hey, Steven, remember the Wi-Fi in this situation in Dallas?
Was it going in and out or bad?
Remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This was the worst trip we had ever in football.
Yeah.
Our the Airbnb got canceled when we arrived in Dallas at like 11 p.m. We had to scramble and get a hotel. The Wi-Fi was awful in SMU's press box. It was entertaining game, but it was a rough trip. If anybody out there cares, I can't
no,
believe you
nobody
remember
cares.
that.
11 a.m. Central kickoff time.
I remember that.
There was like 3 people in the stands at kickoff, and it did start to fill in.
It looked like a decent crowd when they showed some highlights. By the way, they were number 25 in the nation at the time of this game. This year, are they receiving any votes this year? They might be, because
probably are.
Their only 2 losses are Cincinnati and Tulsa. So.
Yeah.
They were ranked until losing to Tulsa. So
They were like, I think they got as high as 18 3 or 4 weeks ago. 18 or 17. They were in the teens for sure.
It might be here to stay, as long as Dykes is there, running the operation, and as according to IGO, recruiting going well. So.
The way they're recruiting, I don't see them falling off a lot. I mean, now the other thing too is that this quarterback, they got to hit on him, because Buechele takes him to another level.
Yeah,
I can't remember the last good SMU quarterback. They had Garrett Gilbert, but he was very up and down.
Yep.
Who also was a Texas guy, right?
Yeah.
I think he started in national championship.
So should we start looking at who Texas back up?
Recruiting? Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be the next SMU quarterback.
But they get so many kids that go to Power 5 schools from Texas and then transfer back.
Yeah, I always look at Jeff's charts when he's here, hour 1, and it shows where everybody's from. And it had to be, I think I was looking at the offense, they're too deep. They might have had 3 guys not from Texas. It was Texas laden. So, all right, good news, fellas. The Parkers has arrived.
All right.
We can finally move on from turkey to chicken, as the Parker's Barbecue is here. And good news for the listeners, coming up in just a little bit, we'll make you a winner with a gift card to Parker's Barbecue, and also a case of Bud Light. So we got that giveaway on the way. We'll take a time out, enjoy some Parker's, and come back with more on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. And we'll talk about that 4th and 20 play from last year. That was not good. Stephen Igo requested the Office theme.
Well done.
Shirley Rhodes delivers.
Well done. Just watched the last episode last night.
Oh, so you just did your first watch through,
yes,
right?
First watch through.
Wow.
Did it last night.
Just finished it, huh?
Good stuff.
All right, we'll take a time out. Come back. More to go on the Bud Light pregame tailgate after this.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Here with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you were telling me the other day, people ask you all the time, I didn't know you did that. What does that mean?
Anything that involves property damage repair, call us first. If it's your crawl space, you've got interior humidity issues, a water loss, your ice maker line breaks, obviously fire and smoke, everybody knows we do those. But anything that involves interior or exterior property damage, we're your repair experts.
Mike, how can everybody get in touch with you?
252-999-0001 or fixednc.com.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is former ECU tight end Bryce Williams from my friends at the Auto Store Group. If you're in the market for a quality used vehicle, then the Auto Store Group is for you. The Auto Store Group has 3 locations and over 150 quality used vehicles to choose from for all budgets. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. And remember, every purchase comes with a free bucket of fun. The Auto Store Group, your hometown store, Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Go Pirates!
Banking is banking until service is not the same. This is Eric Clark from Select Bank and Trust, and this year has been unusual, but we have continued to focus on what has always been important to us, our customers. When businesses needed access to the Paycheck Protection Program, our team of local bankers worked around the clock to successfully keep our customers open and their employees working. Wouldn't you like to deal with a bank that is responsive to your needs, can make local decisions, and cares about you, the customer? We are Select Bank and Trust. Bank local, bank select.
Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Pirate Radio.
I think this is a pretty blue-collar, tough, hard-nosed fan base, and that's where our teams are going to be.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. Did you miss a show on Pirate Radio? Well, listen to all of Pirate Radio's archived local programming by subscribing to us on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe today by going to the podcast app on your iPhone or Apple device and search for Pirate Radio Audio Archives. Now let's head back in to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All righty. Oh, man. Great theme. I like this part coming up right here.
First season was cool.
Such a great show in the first season, Westworld, and then I can't follow it at all in season 3. I didn't even finish watching season 3, which was a bummer because I was really hooked for season 1.
It's really taken, I don't want to say a bad turn, it's just taking a weird turn. Like it's become a completely different show.
Yeah. But man, that season 1 was awesome if you have not seen it. All right, Stephen Igo, Ronnie Woodward here in the Pirate Radio studios in the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. The Parker's Barbecue is here, 3 locations in Greenville. You can go to parkersbbq.com. You can ask about their delivery options as well. You can also order nationwide at parkersbbq.com. They will ship nationwide. They got the chicken, barbecue, seafood, sides. parkersbbq.com. All right, back with the gentleman here. Rohan, a question on Twitter. Why don't our transfers never seem to be as impactful as other schools?
Well, transfers are very hit and miss. I'm sure if you looked at the entire list of SMU transfers they brought in, there have been plenty of misses. I mean, you look at ECU this year, they've hit on 3 out of 5 grad transfers they brought in. Chris Willis has done a nice job at defensive end. Justin Chase and Avery Jones have done a nice job on the offensive line.
Sean Dorseau's been...
Yeah, Sean Dorseau, JUCO kids have been great. Now, Chase Hayden was a bust, and I thought he would have been a good running back from everything I heard. And I think he was talented. I just think he wasn't willing to try and work to get the reps, it sounds like, from the freshmen after they emerged. And then you've got Nigel Knott, the mystery of Nigel Knott.
Nigel Knott's tweeting during games.
Yeah, he hasn't played all year. He's still on the roster, but he hasn't really been active. I don't know what's going on there. At this point, I don't really expect him to do much here unless he changes whatever that's not allowing him to play on game day.
Something you guys brought up, Ronnie, during the break, SMU, and who knows, but there's a chance they could come out a little flat today. We gave some reasons why.
Yeah, I think for sure. They lost to Tulsa their last game, then they had a game postponed. And really the Tulsa loss not only knocked them out of the top 25, but took them basically out of the conference championship picture. So they're in that gray area of like, what's left to play for, I will say that I was reading comments from SMU's coach Sonny Dykes, not only last week before the Houston game was postponed, but then obviously this week as well, and he was pretty consistent in like they're trying to build a program.
Yeah.
They're still motivated because they want, like they're at that level where they know they get everybody's best shot, and he seemed pretty confident that that's not an issue. But again, I think it could be. And said it during the break, but really, if anybody was interested in checking out, I mean, Shane Buechele could have opted out after the Tulsa loss and just say, hey, I'm good. I'm going to concentrate on the combine or, get ready for the NFL draft or whatever. He didn't. I'm assuming if he starts and plays today, that's a sign that maybe SMU's motivated. But I think there's a shot. Yeah, I think they could definitely come out flat. The other side of it, too, which I thought was telling, our man Donnie K was pretty candid this week when me and Steven have asked a lot about that this week about the Tulsa game for ECU last year. It was the same setup, home game, noon, Thanksgiving weekend, what's left
finish
to play
strong.
For. Yeah. And he said, look, the coaches were worried. Late in the week, they knew and could sense the players weren't into it. ECU's players weren't into it. So the ECU side of it, we think, we'll see, is they don't want that to happen again this year and end the season that way. Does that mean they're going to win, lose, whatever? But the energy and motivation level the coaches are claiming is is a point of emphasis this week because of what happened in the Tulsa game last year. And yeah, the SMU side, we'll see. I think the first quarter of this game we'll know some of that. You can kind of tell again when a team's into it or not. So I think that's something definitely that I'm going to watch for early on.
That's been the problem with some of these games that I keep going back to, where ECU goes on the road and either wins or plays well and gives people a sign of optimism, and then they come back home and lose. And they don't just lose, they lose in the first quarter, in the first half. Remember Tulane, ECU's down double digits at the half, and I think the Pirates did get the ball to start the second half, but went 3 and out. I mean, it was pretty much done. The same thing with the Tulsa game last year to end the year. South Florida last year, when you had a chance to ride a little wave of momentum, and ECU has just not been able to sustain any kind of success at all. So it's important every week, but the first quarter is important in this game. In fact, we were just rewatching last year's game. SMU scored, they had the ball up 7, and then ECU got a pick, and that's kind of when the scoring started going back and forth. So you can't get behind 2 possessions here in the first quarter, first half.
Yeah, because ECU played catch-up all last year.
Yeah,
I mean, they never could catch them. They got within 1 point like a million times, and eventually ECU turned it over on a kickoff, and that was kind of when the dam broke. So, yeah, I mean, they've got to get off to a decent start, at least not get buried early, because you don't want to play catch-up. You want to be able to play balance against SMU's defense. I personally think ECU can own or at least have some good push in the line of scrimmage. SMU's defensive line is not that great. They rotate a lot of guys, but they're pretty small and not the biggest team up front, so it's not like they're going against Cincinnati or one of those squads. So, I think they can establish a balanced attack in the first quarter.
I think one difference today, and you talk about the O-line, I think defensively we might see Buechele put up a ton of yards and touchdowns and hit some receivers, but he's going to have to do it quicker than he did last year. We were watching those highlights, and it was like a 3-man, 4-man pass rush
they didn't
all
mix
game.
it up at all.
Yeah.
And today, I would imagine Blake Harrell is going to send some guys after him.
For sure.
I mean, why not? I mean, that's what SMU does, and they give up some big plays. If for ECU do it, if you give up big plays, so what? At least, at least you come after him and make him think a little bit, and maybe you'll create some havoc at some point. Maybe he makes a mistake. I mean, going over the numbers earlier, he definitely is less comfortable under pressure like most quarterbacks, but he's thrown 3 of his 4 picks under pressure this year. So I think they've got to find a way to move him off his spot, do what they can. If they just rush 3 or 4, it's just going to be, he'll pick you apart.
All right, Steve, go ahead, Ron.
I was just say it's interesting too, because I asked Blake Harrell about this. The Temple situation last week. I mean, ECU, I felt like was smart, but didn't need to be aggressive on defense. I mean, that was a pretty basic kind of game plan of, hey, keep everything in front of you, stop the run. They didn't have to worry much about the passing game. Obviously Temple, its quarterback situation was really the key to that whole game. So this is a totally different matchup. It's the exact opposite. You almost want to, if the running back for SMU today beats you, he does. It's kind of the way you probably do it, but you don't want Buechele to go off for 500 some yards and 5 or 6 touchdowns. So getting pressure and attacking the quarterback is totally different last week to this week, obviously.
Steve and I got Ronnie Woodward here. We'll circle back and get some final thoughts on this game in a moment. But while you guys are here, I want to talk a little hoops with you. ECU starting out 1-0, and I brought it up with Jeff in hour 1. I go that what is it, Halton Arena, I'm sorry, no longer a house of horrors for the Pirates. There's a lot of house of horrors out there,
especially in basketball,
for ECU on the road. But man, it was good to get a road victory to start the season yesterday.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, let's be real, ECU basketball on the road, I don't care if they're favored, underdogs, whatever. I mean, we just don't see enough ECU wins on the road. You're never comfortable with ECU going to a road game in basketball, and to see them really not play their best but still win by fairly comfortable.
That lead they had in the second half, you still felt like they were down 5 even when they were up, right? I did.
And the last few sequences of Tyree Jackson trying to throw the long pass off the inbounds, and I think Tremont committed a foul. They did some really boneheaded stuff in the final minutes, and Charlotte missed a few open threes that would have made it interesting. So But you do that in a win, now it's much easier to clean up, or at least much more enjoyable. So Dooley said after the game, listening to Jeff Charles in the post game, that he was like, the last few minutes were just some of the most ridiculous things he's ever seen. He was like, we got to figure that out. But
well, hey, look, it's a good thing to have to practice what to do when you're winning at the end of games. ECU's not used to that, right?
It is very, especially on the road. I mean, they won one road game all of last year at Tulane. They've already matched that. So that's a major positive. I mean, there's been years where they don't have a win on the road. So I think it's a huge confidence booster. To me, Tyree Jackson and Batuma Baruti were the two most noticeable differences from last year in terms of the play they provided.
I liked the impact that Luigi DeBow brought, Ronnie. It was nice to have a guy offensively with that size that was able to help the Pirates. He started, and he showed why he started. He played well.
Yeah, him starting was a sign. And we talked about it all last year that Charles Coleman, it was obvious. He kind of had too much put on him out of default, really, out of injuries and just lack of them having a true center other than him. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, DeBow had some good moves, and that's not really Coleman's game. He's more of a shot blocker, defender, rebounder, so that they could really complement each other well. I think just their styles. And I'm with Steven. I think Tyree Jackson looked like almost a completely different player. It literally,
he cut his hair off.
I was going to say physically with his look and just his demeanor on the court.
I think when you don't have to rely on him for a lot of offense too.
Yeah, he can do it in spurts a little bit.
And he's a great defender and
there were one
hustle guy.
One play where like the Shepherd kid for Charlotte, who's a beast, but he was just trying to drive in, and Jackson came off his man, just took the ball right out of his hand like it was a sweet play. He makes that impact. Batumba hitting some big threes when nobody else can make a three. I mean, he actually shot it with confidence yesterday, even in the first half. Like, he was out there shooting it. And, that was kind of the Baruti we expected to see last year. So, they went small a lot when they took Luigi out, and he would play the 4 and Jaden played the 5, and that was a good lineup as well. And then Tristan Newton, some of his finishes and paint and on those runners.
The degree of difficulty on his shots was incredible.
That's like Michael Jordan style,
It's like fading away.
Yeah, like
the ridiculous.
The shoulder move and like step back, fade away, a little jumper.
It looks so unorthodox, but like, at the end of the day, the ball just swishes the net, and you're like, wow.
He had one late in the first half. Might have been the last possession of the first half, right? Where right at the free throw line, it was just like, looked like a busted kind of possession. He just turns around with the defender right in his face and swished it. I had my parents in town doing Thanksgiving. I was watching it with my dad, and he was like, he doesn't know anything about ECU basketball. I was like, what are they doing? I was like, I don't know. And he was like, man, like, that was a good shot. I'm like, yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot of that from Newton as far as like creating stuff, but that was definitely an improved part of his game. Last year he was just kind of a spot up shooter, really, corner 3-point type shooter, but he definitely had some. I mean, you could tell the guys made improvements. Those role players were developed so much better in one game than most of last year. So positive stuff.
He used his size yesterday. If they have a point or even a 2-guard guarding him, he's probably going to be taller than that guy. So was able to use his size. And also yesterday, Jaden Garner didn't have his best game, but there's going to be a lot of games like that where he scores 32 instead of 18, because he missed some chippies, he missed some shots he usually makes, he missed a free throw,
and they were collapsing on him.
But he still scored 18.
I know. He's gonna
what in the world? Like, he had a bad game, but he still scored 18. It's incredible to think about.
Had and the announcer for Charlotte pointed it out. And I remember former North Carolina player Antoine Jameson. They had a game against Duke where he scored like 30 points in 12 seconds of touching the ball, because he would release it so quick.
That's what Jaden does.
The Charlotte announcer pointed out how Gardner does not have the ball in his hands very long, how he just goes right up and scores. And
that's what you have to do when you got 3 people kind of just like ripping at you.
Well, how about when they needed a bucket late in the game? They threw it to Jaden, and he had 3 guys on him and basically just bullied his way for a basket. It was classic textbook. What does Michael Cole say? Vintage Jaden Gardner. With the bucket.
Tremont Robinson, by the way, didn't score, but 5 assists, no turnovers.
I know Dooley likes that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, good defense on their guard. So, like,
I like how deep they are and can rotate guys in and out.
They can do a lot of different stuff. I mean, J.J. Miles had an off game, and they were still pretty good offensively. So, yeah, I mean, the three-point shooting is still a concern for me. I know Dooley said after the game, he's like, I'm not Nostradamus, but I think we'll shoot it better than that all year.
We'll just keep saying that till it happens.
I mean, eventually they'll make some threes maybe, but it is the same player, so it's like eventually they got to step up and make them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think J.J. Miles is still the key there. You know, I mean, that he was streaky at times last year, and when he was hot, you know, and Tristan Newton probably a little bit too, but I think Miles is the guy that they need consistent outside shooting from. He might be the most have the ability to be the most consistent, I think.
Ronnie, before we let you go, final thoughts on ECU SMU. Once again, I thought the line was a tad low. I would have had SMU like 14.5 instead of 11.5, 12.5. But what do you think about the matchup today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of this game, as we talked about earlier, I think comes down to motivation. I think if SMU gives ECU their best shot, it's going to be tough for ECU. They're going to have to play their best game of the year to win. I think ECU's got to come out and try to be, you know, the one thing with SMU, they struggle sometimes with physical teams. They struggled versus Tulane. They struggled versus Cincinnati and Tulsa. I think ECU can win the line of scrimmage in this game, and that's what Mike Houston wants to do. If they can do that, they can win this game, but it's just going to take a complete effort.
Ronnie?
Yeah, I think the way Steven summed that up is perfect. I mean, they have to play really well. I think in the secondary, first and foremost, on defense, they gotta find a way to contain. And be honest, I think they got to get an interception or two. Again, if that was one of my like 3 questions heading into the game, was Buechel's touchdown to interception ratio. If he goes 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and just kind of has a day with it, it's going to be tough. But like Steven said, on offense, I think they can get physical with this SMU team, and that's not their strength, SMU's strength. So, the secondary on defense for ECU, and then up front and those running backs, when ECU does have the ball, they both have to work together and complement each other to do it.
I think SMU is going to get a ton of yards, but, you know, 4th downs and red zone defense, you know, SMU is going to have some trips in the red zone. Can you force them to kick a field goal or to go for it on 4th down? I think that's going to be a key today for this defense. Thanks for hanging out, gentlemen. Steven Igo got Hoist the Colors. What you turkeys got cooked up for Hoist the Colors, Igo?
Lots of content and a 75% off deal through Cyber Monday for new members, so take advantage of that.
All right. Ronnie, what you turkeys got cooked up at the Reflector?
Everything.
All right.
Good turkey. I cooked the turkey yesterday.
Quate Smire.
Oh my gosh.
No, I had a story that ran Thanksgiving actually. I don't even know if I put it out on social media a whole lot, but Tony Parham did a story about him coming back, hoops player from the 90s.
Yeah.
He graduated this semester.
Oh, man.
He went back to school. So
Tony Parham.
Yeah, so I got that online.
Shoot it.
Yeah. And talked to Dooley about that a little bit and finally got that together.
I want to read that.
He is a frequent guest on Pirate Talk, right? On B-Pays the show?
Maybe so. I might have talked to him before, too.
Yeah.
I believe I have.
He was cool. He said that the pandemic...
Turkeys got cooked up for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, there you are, yeah.
The pandemic gave him the shot to, like, you know, slow things down, obviously. So he's working up in Maryland at a school.
Oh, cool.
As like a behavioral specialist type deal. And, in the summer, started taking some online classes and finished up. Obviously, they finished up the semester, like, right now, pretty much. And got his degree, so that was cool.
Good stuff. All right, gentlemen, thanks for hanging out. Ronnie, we'll talk to you Monday on Pirate Radio Live. Right. Recap ECU and SMU. Take a time out, come back, talk more about this game, talk about the Tar Heels and Irish from yesterday, and more ACC football with David Glenn. He joins us on the other side. We're back after this.
Looking for your next career opportunity? How about some extra cash to help pay for school? Your locally owned and operated Dixon Foods McDonald's is hiring, and they would love to have you as part of the McFamily. They offer flexible hours, competitive pay, and financial support to pursue your education through McDonald's Archways to Opportunity program. Come join the family at McDonald's. Don't let this financial opportunity pass you by. Please visit DixonFoods.com to apply.
Ahoy, mateys! To keep those cars clean, you need the Pirates Cove Fast Pass.
The new Pirates Cove Car Wash and Haviland Express Lube on Glen Burnie Road in New Bern is now open. Pirates Cove in New Bern is offering Fast Passes for $9.99 for new Fast Pass customers. You can visit us in Greenville on Fire Tower Road, Memorial Drive, and on East 10th Street. And have you heard? Pirates Cove on Fire Tower Road is now offering interior cleaning.
So we have you surrounded. Pirates Cove, the official car wash partner of ECU Athletics.
Hidden phone trade-ins, hidden plan requirements, hidden catches. You won't find any of those at US Cellular because we do things differently. And that means you can get the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE or Google Pixel 5 for free with no hidden requirements all season long. US Cellular. Upgrade to fair. Terms and conditions apply. See store uscellular.com for details.
Does the idea of going to your local U.S. Cellular store make you feel a bit uncomfortable? Tired of the hassle of waiting and wearing a mask? Let Toby Williams and his outside sales team take away that worry. They will come right to your home or office and drop your phone off on the porch or at the front desk for you. Saving you time and worry is what the team at Cellular Warehouse is all about. Call Toby today at 252-799-7051 and let them help you with all of your wireless needs. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent.
Your CBD store in Greenville has the highest quality CBD products in the country. Your CBD store is the first and only brand that carries USDA certified organic products such as gummies, honey sticks, and high absorption water-soluble liquids, which are all made in the United States. They even offer products for your pet. The educated staff will help you answer any questions, and you can stop in anytime to get a free sample. Your CBD store, locally owned and operated, open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, right beside Duck Donuts in Greenville.
The holiday season is here, and Sam Jones Barbecue is ready to help you host all of your family and friends this year with our catering menu, perfect for any size gathering. Our whole hog chop barbecue, slow-cooked chicken, smoked turkey, and spare ribs will make a holiday meal a hands-down winner every time. Log on to samjonesbarbecue.com to get your order started, and also check out our online store stocked with our sauces, hats, and t-shirts. I'm Sam Jones, and on behalf of all of our staff, happy holidays.
Hi, this is Phil Steele of Phil Steele's College Football Preview Magazine, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Join us immediately after today's game between the Pirates and the Mustangs for the one and only U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show. Coach Rick Smith will be in the studio, and we'll be taking your calls on the Fixed NC Live line at 317-1250, plus reading your Facebook Live comments and your tweets at PR927FM. When the fourth quarter ends, it's the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show right here on the Voice of the Pirate Nation. Now let's head back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, I had to make the move. Barbecue sandwich. I put slaw on it. I put the vinegar sauce on it. Oh, man. And I'm very excited about it. I'm taking one bite out of it. It looks like the old Atlanta Hawks logo.
Kind of looks slightly like Pac-Man, too.
Yeah, had a little Pac-Man look to it. I will take several more bites out of that when I get the opportunity, but right now I have to talk here. By the way, forgot to do our Parker's giveaway, so we'll do it after this segment with David Glenn.
Yeah, that'll work.
I got a Parker's gift card and a case of Bud Light to give you coming up in just a few moments. Let's welcome all to DG, David Glenn, who joins us one final time here on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. David, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Just had not long ago a great meal at Parker's.
Absolutely. And a lot of great options for you. Today they hooked us up with not only barbecue sandwiches, but also chicken sandwiches and all the great sides. You can go to parkersbbq.com or one of their 3 locations here in Greenville and enjoy some great football food on this football Saturday. We had Football Friday, David, and we were strapped in for a shootout between the Tar Heels and the Irish, and it was 14-14 when you blinked, and then you you settle in and get ready for the fireworks, and Notre Dame's defense said no. 31-17, the final score yesterday, and was not expecting that after the start to the game, David. But how about what the Irish did, putting the clamps on Sam Howell in North Carolina yesterday?
Yeah, it was well done. I mean, when the Tar Heels had the ball, it was one of the best offenses in the ACC against one of the best defenses in the ACC. And as you said, that great defense of Notre Dame, that's been championship caliber all year long, rose to the occasion and, won the battle head-to-head. And Notre Dame's offense has been sort of up and down all year, and Carolina's defense has been more down than up all year. And the Irish just, put up enough points to win. So there was no shootout, but probably the most important conclusion beyond, Notre Dame staying among the ranks of the undefeated is that the ACC still has a narrow path to getting 2 of the Final 4 in the college football playoff. And you know the deal. It would require Clemson beating Notre Dame, maybe in a narrow victory in that revenge match in the ACC title game. But for a league like the ACC that is sometimes an afterthought in football, even the possibility of having 2 out of the Final 4 is, in late November is a pretty big deal.
David Glenn joining us. David, looking at the slate today in the ACC, you've got Clemson, who will be taking on Pittsburgh, Duke and Georgia Tech, Virginia, Florida State, Louisville, Boston College, NC State. And I'll give a little credit to, we always have some Pac fans tuned in. They beat Liberty in a defensive matchup last week, David. And NC State quietly putting together a good season under Dave Doran, and they'll try to get a road win today against Syracuse. But the Wolfpack, at least for me, David, have gone a little under the radar this year.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're headed to 8-3, and that means you get a decent bowl. And if you win that bowl game, you're 9-3, which would give Dave Doran, his best record in 8 years in Raleigh. And Wolfpack fans, they're never going to say it's a dream season if they lost to the Tar Heels, and they got smacked this year 48-21. But the rest of that schedule, remember, they barely lost. It was 44-41 in that Friday night game against the Miami Hurricanes, who still have a really good record. Yeah. When Coach of the Year type stuff is being discussed, Brian Kelly of Notre Dame, still undefeated, is kind of leading the way. Manny Diaz at Miami is 7-1 and is in that conversation as long as he keeps winning. But Dave Doran, has put himself in the conversation in the eyes of some people because you give yourself a chance at 9-3. You take out a ranked Liberty team. You beat a ranked Pitt team earlier this year. That's again one of the better seasons if Dave Doran pulls it off. That's assuming victories over Syracuse today and Georgia Tech next week. Those are 2 of the bottom feeders in the ACC this year.
David Glenn joining us. Let's talk a little Pirate football. DG, ECU getting set to take on the high-powered SMU Mustangs today. The Pirates coming off a win over a depleted Temple Owls team, 28-3 last week. Good win for the Pirates defensively, and got some help with Tyler Snead and special teams as well. They're going to need all the help they can get today with Sonny Dykes and that those high-flying Mustangs coming to Dowdy Ficklin Stadium at noon. What do you think about this matchup for the Pirates today, David?
Yeah, as we've seen all year long, when the Pirates deal with an explosive offense, they've really had a hard time keeping teams, just even under 35 points. I think in all but one of their losses this year, the Pirates have given up 34 or more points, with that Navy game being the exception. So it's going to be Mike Houston asking a defensive unit that has gotten better in some areas, but has given up a whole lot of yards and a whole lot of points. It's a tough task and probably an uphill battle to ask the Pirates to make that kind of stand against SMU, which is not only, a top 4 team in the American Conference, but is a top 4 team in large part because they really move the ball well for Sonny Dykes. So is it impossible? No, but you better create some turnovers and some short fields. Yeah. And you better get, a lot of points, obviously, out of Holton Ahlers, the way the Pirates put up big numbers against the Mustangs offensively last year. That's the equation. Can they pull it off and end the season with a smile? We'll see. But that's probably the path to victory.
Yeah, that is the winning recipe today for the Pirates. Talking to David Glenn, and we are live here on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. And to prove it, David, about a minute ago, Brett McMurphy tweeted out that Florida State Virginia has been postponed because of COVID issues at Florida State. So here we are once again. It was Florida State Clemson recently. Now Florida State Virginia going to be postponed because of COVID issues. And once again, we're sitting here an hour and 10 minutes away, from noon, and that news comes out.
Yeah, and there was a lot of bad blood, as I'm sure you discussed on your show. Florida State's medical people and Clemson's medical people last week just flat out didn't trust each other. I mean, Dabo Swinney, the Clemson head coach, was accurate when he said, hey, wait a minute, we followed all the protocols. We didn't break any rules here. We're ready to play. Why won't you play us? And Florida State's medical personnel were basically saying, yeah, you followed the protocols, but you didn't do all the safety first things that we've been doing at Florida State. And that created some bad blood, as you heard out of Dabo, and even a little from Mike Norvell, the Seminoles head coach. I don't know the details of the breaking news you just described, but in the Clemson FSU case, it was that one player who tested positive on the last day, the Friday night, they learned of that test. And then it was a Saturday morning postponement. So I haven't seen the details of this morning's postponement, but it's another game in Tallahassee. I haven't even seen if it's Virginia-related or FSU-related, the postponement.
Yeah.
At this point, it's a cancellation.
Reportedly, I guess FSU-related, David, as we'll have more news coming out on that, I'm sure, as the day goes on. David, before we let you go, Pirates start the basketball season with a win yesterday over Charlotte. How about ACC-wise, as we're less than a week into the season? Duke going to get underway today. What are the storylines? I don't know if Josh Pastner and Georgia Tech, their start of the season is necessarily a storyline, but yikes, down there in Atlanta. Anything stood out to you here the first few days of basketball?
Maybe the craziest thing is that UVA, which is going to be good this year and was voted number one by many people in the ACC and certainly highly ranked nationally for Tony Bennett as well, UVA lost to a San Francisco basketball team that had lost to UMass Lowell. Not UMass, UMass Lowell. So expect the unexpected in terms of cancellations and postponements has become our rule in football and soon to be college basketball. Expect the unexpected competitively, might be the rule as well because, Virginia really is good. I don't know how they lost that game, but Duke and Carolina are going to be good again, obviously. And teams like Pitt and Georgia Tech under Jeff Capel and Josh Pastner suffered some ugly losses out of the gate in years where some people thought they were going to kind of climb the standings and make an NCAA tournament. So those are some of the early storylines, good and bad. But the ACC's good. Again, it's going to be deep again. But there's that second tier where, Kevin Keats expects his Wolfpack to be an NCAA tournament team and has gotten off to a good start, whereas Georgia Tech and Pitt have similar expectations and have gotten off the bad starts.
DG, David Glenn joining us from the Bud Light pregame tailgate, as he has all season long. David will miss the weekend chat, so we'll hook up with you on Pirate Radio Live before we get out of 2020 and move on to 2021. We'll keep in touch and get you back on the show soon. We always appreciate talking with you.
Yeah, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your listeners. Thankful for my relationship with Pirate Radio all these years. Good to be with you again.
Absolutely. Same to you, DG. There's David Glenn joining us on the Fixed NC live line. We will take a time out. Shirley's got her plate. Chandler's got a sandwich, chicken or BBQ? Chicken. I'm going BBQ. I was eating it live on the air. Very unclassy. But you know what? Don't care. Very good.
It's the season finale.
Yes.
All the rules are out the window.
We're all just eating on the air. And you know what? We're going to let you join in on the fun because right now, what caller you want to do, Shirley?
Let's do number 12.
Caller 12 at 317-1250 wins a gift card to Parker's Barbecue and a case of Bud Light. Great giveaway here on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. You can be a winner if you are caller 12. We're back to wrap up hour number 3? This thing's flying by.
Yeah, no, I just looked at the clock and I just realized,
What is
we got
going
an
on?
hour left.
All right, we're back with you after this.
At Tiebreakers, we pride ourselves on serving
big, juicy wings.
I'm talking
big and juicy.
Our chickens are the same ones that kick sand in the other chickens' faces. If our chickens played football, they'd be linebackers. The competition's chickens, they'd be
skinny little kickers.
Trade those kickers in for linebackers.
Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates.
This is Dr. Phil Perdue with Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. My colleagues and I recognize how difficult this time is for everyone in our community. We continue to see patients during the week while taking precautions to keep everyone safe. Our extended care clinic is now open on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. so you can avoid the emergency department for your urgent orthopedic care. For more information, please contact us at 757-2663 or visit our website at orthoeast.com.
Summertime is here with hot temperatures, thunderstorms, and hurricanes. It's easy to recognize pests invading your home, but a lot of people forget about moisture destroying your home's crawl space. Pest Tech is celebrating its 20th year protecting your homes using dehumidifiers, professional-grade liners, and most importantly, our licensed and highly trained technicians. Visit pesttechofgreenville.com for a free estimate on moisture control and the other silent destroyer, termites. Trust your home to the best. Pest Tech of Greenville, your East Coast exterminating professionals.
University PC Care is proud to support Greenville Fire Rescue this year and their annual Operation Santa Claus Toy Drive. Stop by their Fire Tower location over the next 2 weeks to drop off new unwrapped toys. University PC Care will honor $20 off any service for customers dropping off toys, and they will donate an additional unwrapped toy for every toy donated. If you have any questions or for iPhone or computer support, call 558-1280 or go online at universitypccare.com.
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Get your sports weekend started at Familia. Every Thursday, Familia has $2 drafts all day. Stop by with your friends and family for some New York-style pizza and have an ice-cold $2 draft. Sunday brunch is the best for food and family. Come and enjoy favorites like shrimp and grits, made-to-order omelets, French toast, and drink specials like $3 mimosas, beer mimosas, or $5 Bloody Marys. Familia, Fire Tower Road near Pitt Community College and FamiliaNC.com.
Pirate Radio.
And you write that down, because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it!
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Make sure you can watch all of Pirate Radio's local programming on YouTube Live. Go to YouTube and search for Pirate Radio TV and subscribe today. Watch Pirate Radio live Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. and the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate and US Cellular fifth quarter on game days. Just go to YouTube and search Pirate Radio TV and subscribe. Now let's head back in to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Barat.
All righty, rapid.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Congratulations to Faith Carson, who called in right from Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. Picked up our Pirate Radio Game Day package, a $25 gift card courtesy of Parker's, and a case of Bud Light.
All right, gotta have faith.
Yep.
Wrapping up hour 3 of the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Big hour 4 on the way. We'll go out live to Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. Talk to Troy D., Billy Weaver, Brian North, also the big man on campus, Jeff Nadeau, going to join us on the Fixed NC Live line to talk about ECU SMU, full slate of college basketball on the way today as well. We'll break it all down. Let's get that break in, Shirley. We owe a break here, so let's do that real quick. A 2-minute timeout. We'll come back with the BMOC, the big man on campus, Jeff Nadeau. He joins us when we return right after this.
It's bow time.
The barbecue sandwich from Bojangles is back. Wait, Bojangles has barbecue?
Yeah, keep going.
Well, okay then. We're talking tender pulled pork with a tangy Carolina vinegar kick. Unforgettably topped with our country coleslaw, all on perfectly toasted buns. So if you're like me and missed it last time, get your hands on a barbecue sandwich combo pronto.
It's bow time. If you are push mowing your yard using an inefficient lawn tractor, or your current zero-turn spends more time in the shop than mowing your grass, it's time you look at a Hustler zero-turn lawnmower. Residential mowers from Hustler are built like tanks and drive like sports cars. All Hustler mowers have fabricated, welded steel decks. Don't settle on cheap units with flimsy stamped decks from big box stores. Come see Ron Ayers Motorsports. It will guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11 north of the airport in Greenville.
Every team knows that the two-point play can be a winning move. That's why I'm here. State Farm agent Timothy Sawyer and my team are here to help you go for two by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score some savings by combining your home and auto. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, Timothy Sawyer, at 493-0002 today.
When you don't have time to go to lunch, let Jimmy John's deliver lunch to you. With Jimmy John's, we can get a freaky fresh sandwich to you freaky fast. Click to order at jimmyjohns.com. Dinner's great. It's one of your top 3 favorite meals. You just don't want to have to make it. Well, with Jimmy John's, you don't have to. Whether you live in a sandwich delivery zone or head into the store, you can always get a freaky fresh sandwich. Click to order at jimmyjohns.com.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back for the latest breaking news, interesting stories, and awesome contests that can make you a winner. Be sure to follow Pirate Radio on our social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at PR927FM. Join the close to 50,000 followers today at PR927FM. Now let's head back to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
All right. Roads playing TV themes today. Shirley, there is I believe, a Sopranos instrumental on YouTube.
Yes, I know which one it is.
All right, you can get that one to go out of our segment with the big man on campus,
We
Jeff
can do
Nadeau,
that. We can do that.
who joins us from Barstool Sports, big man on basketball podcast, available for you to download, and you can follow him on Twitter at Jeff Nadu. Jeff, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing well, Clip. How are you?
Hey, doing great. You're off to a good start to the college basketball season. Also threw out an Iowa State football winner for the folks yesterday. So the big man is giving during this holiday season. And what a day today, Jeff. How do you split your time between all the college basketball and college football when it comes to picks today?
Well, Clip, the good thing about college football is I'm not a heavy volume guy anyway. I got a play or two that I like on the board, but right now I'm really just, once I see a game or two, and I kind of, for basketball, know kind of where I'm looking and where I want to go, so I normally do a lot of the work the day ahead. But luckily, as you know, I'm not a huge volume guy, so, in any sport, so I don't have to, I don't have to find 10 or 15 games. It's just finding and neutralizing a few that I like and moving on.
Well, let's start with the football and start with the Pirates, Jeff. And I thought the line would be a little higher with ECU, SMU. You like, I believe, the total. Now, last year, these teams put up 110 points in their football game, 59-51. This year, total is in the 60s. And I believe you said earlier in the week that if you had to go one way in this game, you would go over in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you mentioned the game last year. I mean, it was one of the higher scoring games of the season in college football, and this is something where if you're ECU, you have to feel good because you can score on SMU. And look, I don't think SMU is any better or any worse than they were last year defensively. Maybe slightly better, but I don't think you're really going to see much of it. Like I've said before, I think ECU has to throw the football. And Holt Naylor's was terrific last year, almost 500 yards. He had 6 touchdowns. Tyler Snead had a huge game, over 230 yards, I think 240 he had. It was incredible. I know a lot of people don't want to get into shootouts, but I think ECU has a shot because they can run the football. SMU's actually ran the football well also. But when you look at pace in this game, both teams are, it's SMU's top 20, ECU's 39, so both these teams are pretty fast from a tempo perspective. ECU just has to find ways to score touchdowns in the red zone, which they're only grabbing about 2.5 scoring opportunities per game in the red zone. So they need to up that a little bit. But when you look at the total, I mean, it's under 70 here. I think SMU will hit 40, 45. They had a pretty poor game off their, in front of their bye week last week against Tulsa. They just couldn't move the ball in the second half. They should look at this opportunity as a better spot to really kind of flex their muscles offensively. I think ECU is good enough with the weapons they have. They just need to involve them. ECU needs to throw the football. I think this is like a 48-27 type of game.
Big man on campus, Jeff Nadeau, joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. Jeff, before we move on to hoops, anything college-wise today or NFL on Sunday that you really like?
Yeah, I like a total later today up at Boise. Boise, San Jose State, total's about 58. It's actually quite low. I think a lot of people are going to zero in and say, well, it's really cold, but okay. I mean, it's the high 30s. I mean, it's not 15, and there's no wind or precipitation to worry about. So you look at Boise, really have had no issues moving the ball, 40 points a game this year. Typical Boise offense, doesn't really matter who the quarterback is, and their starting quarterback, Hank Buckmeyer's back after some coronavirus and health issues. But my real thing, Clip, here is I think a lot of people are buying into the San Jose State defense, and they should. I mean, they've been very good. They're 4-0, but when you look a little bit further at who they played, none of them have been even probably a quarter to what Boise is offensively. I think San Jose is going to be on their back foot all day. I think they're going to have trouble getting stops here. And when you look at San Jose offensively, they have a quarterback, Nick Starkel, who played at Texas A&M, good quarterback. He can move the ball, 70% completion percentage. They're averaging over 9 yards a pass play. So I think both these offenses are going to find some success. You also look at the return game, Clip. Boise has one of the better return men in the country, Avery Williams. He had a kick return last week. They have one of the best returners in the business, and San Jose's got a top 20 return game as well. So I think you're going to get some really good field position today. 58's too low.
Jeff Nadeau joining us. Big man laid a big spread last night, and Jeff always preaches make sure you get the best number. I think you had 32.5, Wisconsin over Arkansas Pine Bluff, and the last time I looked at it, Jeff, it was around 34.5, 35. Wisconsin wins by 34. So you get a W there. ECU picking up a nice win yesterday against Charlotte. I didn't see a number on that game, Jeff. Did you ever see a number before the ECU Charlotte tip-off? I'm just curious.
I did not.
Yeah.
In fact, I actually talked about that. I do a Periscope daily when I don't have a show, and I actually recommended the under. I thought, Charlotte just kind of plays that Tony Bennett-esque type of game. I just didn't think that ECU would be real worried about that either. So I went with the under. I didn't end up seeing a number, so I didn't end up playing it. But if I had to, I would have played the under.
Coming up in college hoops today, Duke will get underway with their season. They take on Coppin State coming up at 2 o'clock. Notre Dame, Michigan State later tonight. Virginia Tech, Villanova. I guess those are the most notable games. How about, Jeff, what you got your eye on from a gambling perspective?
Yeah, I actually have a game coming up here at noon. I laid the 23.5 with Bowling Green. Numbers moved up a little bit. I will say this, guys. For anyone out there that's maybe a lay person betting college basketball, you want a pointer. If you're looking at added games, you're looking at teams against like high-level teams against like the bottom 20 in the country. If you're betting them like late, you're going to lose. You got to bet added games early. The numbers move. These are really good teams against really bad teams, so people are going to come in and bet them. And you look at South Carolina State. I have them clip third worst team in the country. Horrific defensive team. They just don't offer much. They really play fast, and I think that kind of plays into their opponent. I think it's going to play right into what Boise State wants to do what Bowling Green wants to do offensively. Bowling Green, a top team. I actually had them ranked number 1 in the MAC. They actually played really well the other night against Michigan. They had 82 points in that game against a good Big Ten defense. They just couldn't get any stops themselves. But I think they have a better, more faceted play today against a really bad team. I think they take care of business. If you look at South Carolina State, their first game they played, it was against App State, a middling Sun Belt team. They gave up 81 points in the game. This has all the makings of like a 95 60 type of game. I think Bowling Green comes in here, early start, at home. I think they destroy South Carolina State here.
Make sure you're following Jeff Nadeau. He will throw out some picks during the day, have videos as well where he gives his thoughts on games. The Big Man on Basketball podcast will drop another episode next week, and we'll also visit with the Big Man Monday on Pirate Radio Live. Jeff, thanks for joining us all year long on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Enjoy talking with you on game days, and we'll catch up with you again on Monday.
If you haven't, go subscribe to the show, Big Men on Basketball on iTunes. We're out Monday with a new episode. Make sure you subscribe. Thanks, Clip. Appreciate it. Have a great day. Go Pirates.
Yes, sir. You do the same, Jeff. Appreciate it, man. There's the Big Man on campus, Jeff Nadeau, on the Fixed NC Live line. Surely we will stay on the Fixed NC Live line and go out to Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium and talk to Troy D as he sets the scene for ECU and SMU. Troy D, what's going on?
Hey, Clip, what a weird year it's been on our final tailgate report, if you want to call it that, of the 2020 season. Of course, an abbreviated season, so only saw 9 games, only 4 at home, and only 3 where fans could attend. And out of those 3, only 3,500, as you guys know, were allowed in. And today, unfortunately, out of those 3,500, as I've been walking around for the past hour or so, the tailgating is a little bit bleak. And at least in the premium lots, the past few games, fans have kind of come out and enforce, and if they're coming out today, they may not be tailgating beforehand. They may just be coming straight to the game. But one thing we've learned this year, guys, is how important the fan base is to this program, and it takes 2 sides of the equation to make this thing happen. Obviously, you got to have the coaches and players, but without the fans, this thing can't survive. Without their financial support, and as we've seen this year with the energy in the stadium, I mean, it has just kind of been a dead zone without fans, and we've realized how important that is, and they've been missed, and this program can't survive without them. Matt Maloney knows that from the Pirate Club, who's alongside, better known as Big Guy. How's it been from y'all's perspective with the Pirate Club and the financial arm of the fundraising side of the athletic department trying to fundraise in this type of environment too?
Well, the positive thing is, Big Guy, we have such great fans. We're going to get there. We have great fans. We have great days ahead. But there's no question it's been a challenge. But Pirates always rally to the challenge, and that's what we came out with, we believe, the end of the year appeal. So if anybody can help us with it, doesn't matter if it's a $50 gift or $100,000, it doesn't matter. Pirates do always rally, Big Guy, and we're going to get there. But, just like you've gone through some tough times. Everybody has. But the best thing is I think we miss each other because we have such a great loyal fan base, and we have fun together at events. And what makes the Pirate atmosphere so special is our Pirate friends and fans. They make it. That's why we have one of the best atmospheres in the country. But we'll get back there. It's a different year, right? But we'll be there. We'll be there again.
Big Guy, you've been here a long time. You even predate me, and I'm starting to get old. You were a freshman in '89, right?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, and you took down 3 goalposts, and
I did. Yeah. So I'd love to see that. I'd love to say my best days are still ahead of me, but we'll have to wait and see if that ever happens again in Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. The goalpost days may be behind us. I don't know if they kind of discourage taking down goalposts now.
Yeah, it could be. It's probably not a good thing to do, but we can still celebrate many other ways, right?
Oh, and you've been here a long time. This is out of all the ups and downs, though. This has got to be the hardest challenge to try and overcome as we head into 2021. Troy, it can be if you look at it, but I do look at John Gilbert as an AD. I give laud Ron Mitchelson for what he did as interim chancellor. Unbelievable. And so we do have good people in place, and we're going to get there again. But like I said, there's no reason to complain because everybody else is going through it too. But we do go. We're going to finish strong on this We Believe campaign. Was every Pirate needs to help out with it, and we thank the ones that have already helped out on it. On a positive today, it started a little rainy skies this morning, but it's supposed to clear up. Took a look at the forecast. Feels nice out here. I'm in shorts and just a pullover, and it's going to be sunny skies by kickoff, Matt. So maybe East Carolina, Mike Houston and the guys can pull off an upset at the end of the year and go into 2021 with some momentum. I'll tell you one thing, Coach Houston, he'll the guys ready. There's no question. Every time we prepare, he will have us ready to play. We have an outstanding staff, and he's a great leader. You know, that's what I'm saying, big guy. We're gonna be smiling again, all right? And I do appreciate the Cannon fans. Tony Cannon, his big family. He had all the family come in today, so we're going to have. I appreciate him adding to the tenants today, right? Absolutely. Every fan helps. The one thing I can say about Matt Maloney for the Pirate Club, big guy as we like to call him, it doesn't matter how things get. He is always positive. And Matt, I know a lot of people talk about that. Never a down moment with you. Always try and see the bright side of things. We appreciate that. I appreciate y'all. And you know what? Thank you, Troy. We've been friends for a long time, and y'all are just such good, you're just good friends of the program. We can't thank you enough. It's Matt Maloney with the ECU Pirate Club, guys. That's the scene as we come to the outside Count Bank Tower in the shadow of Dowdy Ficklin Stadium, right outside Gate 1. As I said, it'll be hard to get a kind of accurate read on the attendance today because they're going to call it at 3,500 no matter what. But I'll be curious to see if actually all 3,500 fans show up. If they do, it's going to be a late arriving crowd because, as I said, kind of a small crowd tailgating today in the premium lots, but hopefully fans starting to roll in now and get as much positive energy in that stadium as East Carolina can receive today. So that's the scene outside Dowdy Ficklin. I'll throw it back to you guys, and look forward to talking with y'all in the fifth quarter on Pirate Radio.
All right, always enjoy hearing from Big Guy. That'll put a smile on your face heading in to game day Saturday. We'll continue to break down ECU and SMU when we return on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Well done, Shirley Rhodes. Got Billy Weaver, WITN Sports Director, joining us next. We'll celebrate a Washington victory over Dallas and get his thoughts and keys to ECU and SMU. Back with you on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. We're back after this.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Banking is banking until service is not the same. This is Eric Clark from Select Bank and Trust, and this year has been unusual, but we have continued to focus on what has always been important to us, our customers. When businesses needed access to the Paycheck Protection Program, our team of local bankers worked around the clock to successfully keep our customers open and their employees working. Wouldn't you like to deal with a bank that is responsive to your needs, can make local decisions, and cares about you, the customer? We are Select Bank and Trust. Bank local, bank select.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
BMS Builders is your premier custom builder in eastern North Carolina. With Blackwood and Mills Creek in Greenville, Dalton's Cove in Farmville, and Belmar and Ayden, these are just a few of the developments featuring BMS Builders homes. They can build the home of your dreams. Just ask Dr. Dennis Ross in Greenville or East Carolina football coach Mike Houston. They built their homes, and they can build yours as well. BMS Builders. Give them a call at 916-1578 for BMS Builders.
The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier American-styled restaurant and bar. Join us at the Rick House for mouth-watering steaks and the best burgers around. Check out the spicy mahi risotto or the bourbon pecan salmon. Wednesday night is date night. 2 salads, an appetizer, a bottle of wine, 2 entrees, and a dessert for just $55. Thursday is ladies' night with $5 martinis and special apps. The Rick House, American Provisions and Spirits, 710 Red Banks Road beside the bowling alley in Greenville. The Rick House.
This is assistant football coach Drew Dudzik, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. Did you miss a show on Pirate Radio? Listen to all of Pirate Radio's archived local programming by subscribing to us on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe today by going to the podcast app on your iPhone or Apple device and search for Pirate Radio Audio Archives. Now let's head back into the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
All righty, back with you on the Washington football fifth quarter. Let's head out to the Fix and See live line. Billy in Greenville's hanging on. Hey, Billy.
Hey, Clip. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Well done. You knocked them all out right there.
Okay, good.
How about Thursday? I'm sure you, just like I, had a great Thanksgiving.
Oh, no. Why would that be? I had some good turkey and time with family, and that's pretty much... Oh, wait. No, wait. Oh, you're talking about the NFL.
That I am.
Yeah.
That I am. How about that?
It's so funny because walking around here at the stadium, coming up to the ECU game, you know, we have a few mutual friends that are Cowboy fans that I haven't seen since the game, and I don't know, just randomly would blurt out, "How about them Cowboys?"
How about them Cowboys?
I didn't get the reception that I really thought I would get with that, but anyway, it was a good day for us.
Yeah, things were a little awkward when Bailey was in here for hour 2 of the show earlier this morning. I didn't know what to say, what not to say. He had this look in his eye weave, so be careful if you see him around Dowdy Ficklin today.
Well, yeah, I did. You know, like I said, there was a few Cowboy fans, you know, Bailey being one of them, Brian Meador being another, and Greg Pierce, he's another one. The guy I don't think I'm going to yell, "How about them Cowboys," to is Mike Houston. You know, he's a Cowboy fan. And that's the one thing, I guess the one knock about Mike Houston so far at ECU is he's a Cowboys fan. So I guess there could be worse things, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Billy, let's get to ECU SMU and some breaking... I guess this is breaking news. Stephen Igo tweeting out about a minute ago, no Rajay Harris on the field for pregame warm-ups. Looks like he is out today. That, according to Stephen Igo from Hoist the Colors. And if that's the case, that is important for this Pirate offense. Next man up, of course, Keaton Mitchell, Darius Penix. You got some options there at running back. But if Harris can't go, that's a big blow for this team.
Yeah, I think that is. You know, the running game has at times looked really good behind Rajay, and the freshman has come in and really given this offense and the running game obviously a spark. So without him is going to be tough. But there are guys that are back there proven, and this is a time that maybe a Darius Penix can kind of step back up and step back into the spotlight and really make things happen. So it's a tough blow for ECU. So we'll have to see exactly what the situation is with that. I just walked into the stadium about 5 minutes ago and walked out on the field. I saw all the team out there, but didn't get a chance to see exactly what personnel was out there until you guys called. So, yeah, I'll go back out there after the phone call and try and do some investigating and find out exactly what happened.
If the Pirates want to win today, they're going to have to throw the ball with success, better than they have the last couple of weeks, Billy, and they were able to do that last year against SMU, rolling up 51 points, and it was a lot of Ehlers to Sneed, Ehlers to Josiah Hatfield, Ehlers to Omatosho. Going to have to get those guys involved, and obviously C.J. Johnson as well. This passing game has got to get going today if they want to keep up with the Mustangs.
Yeah, I think so. That's the way you're going to have to stay in this game, is to get into a track meet. I mean, that's just the bottom line. SMU's offense is very good, and if you're going to knock off one of the top teams in conference, you're going to have to do it by getting into a track meet. But I think the key offensively for East Carolina is not to turn the ball over. I think turnovers is just going to be the key on both sides of the ball. You can't turn the ball over if you're East Carolina, because that gives SMU gives them extra offensive possessions. And typically when you turn the football over, more times than not, you're in bad field position for a turnover, usually on your side of the 50. And if you give SMU a short field, that's just a recipe for disaster. So the Pirates offensively, I mean, while obviously they've got to be balanced, they've got to run the football, they've got to throw the football, they've got to score, at will. I mean, they've really got to score more times than not when they have the football to be able to keep up with SMU's offense. But the biggest thing is you just can't turn the football over. If you turn the football over against SMU, bad things are going to happen. And so I think, controlling the football is going to be key.
Got to protect the football, got to force some turnovers. And I watched the highlights of ECU SMU a couple of times already today here in the studio. One thing I noticed, Shane Buechele had all day to throw last year as ECU was only, sending 3 or 4 guys and trying to just play max coverage. That could be different this year for multiple reasons. A, because it didn't work last year, and B, Blake Harrell is in and he loves to blitz. So I'm thinking we're going to see an aggressive Pirates defense today. If you don't get to Buechele, oh well, he'll probably complete a pass and you'll have to get him the next time. But I think they're going to send some guys after him and try to be more aggressive this year.
Well, I mean, you kind of hit it on the head. What do you have to lose? I mean, really, you're a 2-win football team. You're in the season finale. You're at home. You're a 12-point underdog. What do you have to lose by bringing the pressure? Because SMU's offense is going to do what they do. They're going to score points, period. So if you lay back, you're just delaying the inevitable. Make something happen. They've had 15 forced turnovers on defense, ECU has this year. So go after that. I mean, because like I said, the key both offensively and defensively is going to be turnovers. The key offensively for ECU is to limit turnovers and then to force some turnovers on defense. So I agree. I think Blake Harrell is going to be aggressive today because you have nothing to lose. Go after the quarterback, make some things happen. Are you going to get beat in the back end a couple of times on deep plays? Probably, but that may happen anyway. So I think the Pirates have to be aggressive today and go after the football.
Again, if you're just tuning in, Rajay Harris not on the field warming up, according to Stephen Igo. That is going to be a factor in this game. We talked defense. Billy, how about special teams? We'll even see SMU special teams. They didn't need them last year because they went 5 for 5 on 4th down. That was a key factor in the game. They scored on a 4th and 20. They clinched the game with a 4th down conversion near midfield. So they're gonna go for it. They're gonna kind of risk it a little bit out there, and if they do end up punting and kicking, ECU's got to do the job there. And for ECU, they got to figure out what's going on with the kicking operation and Jake Verity. That has been a struggle, Billy, the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Jake Verity, he's been kind of on a roller coaster season this year. He's had his ups and downs. I mean, he's had some really good games, and then he's had some questionable games. But I think special teams overall for the Pirates this year have been pretty good, and especially last week when you saw Tyler Snead break off the kickoff return for a touchdown on the opposite side of the football with SMU. They don't put a whole lot of stock in their special teams, and they don't really have to. When you have an offense like they do, you go score touchdowns and you kick extra points and then you kick off. That's pretty much the extent of their special teams. They don't punt a whole lot. So I think if it is a close game in the fourth quarter, which, absolutely would be outstanding if ECU could keep this close into the fourth quarter, special teams could play a big part in this game.
Billy Weaver, a great report live from Dowdy Ficklin Stadium. Appreciate you joining us all season long here on the Bud Light pregame tailgate weave, and we'll check in with you on the US Cellular fifth quarter call-in show.
All right, it'll be the last one of the season. This season has absolutely flown by, and it's been a crazy season, but hopefully we've got something good to talk about on the fifth quarter call-in show.
That would be nice. Thank you, Weave. Appreciate it, man.
All right, man.
There's WITN Sports Director Billy Weaver, and we will be with you after the game. A place where everybody knows your name, the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show.
That's right.
And last edition, we'll recap the game. We'll recap the season. We'll look ahead to 2021. Maybe talk Pirate Hoops. A little bit of everything coming up with Rick Smith on the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show. Take a time out, come back, have more for you right here on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. We're back after this. At
At Tiebreakers, we admit we have a bit of a problem. People love our wings so much that they're starting to sell their home TVs just so they can watch all the sporting events here at Tiebreakers. Seriously, we're glad you love our hand-breaded, hand-cut boneless wings that much, but we really need you to go home at the end of the night. It's okay, we'll be here tomorrow. And when you come back, bring a friend with you. For great food, great friends, and cold beer, we'll see you at Tiebreakers. Tiebreakers, break the chain, eat local.
Hey, Pirate fans, get ready for a winning season and get things done right with a John Deere tractor package from Quality Equipment. You can't afford to lose on your home turf, so we'll help you get the driveway done right at the right price. Right now, our 1023E driveway package starts as low as $148 per month. So get quality done right before every ECU football weekend. Visit QualityEquip.com. Offer ends 12/31/2020. Subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Don't miss the huge savings this weekend at UBE and PirateWear.com. On Black Friday, get a free ECU t-shirt with any $50 purchase in-store or on PirateWear.com. Plus 20% off all sweats on PirateWear.com. For Small Business Saturday, you get a free Mini Pirate Sunset print with any in-store purchase at UBE. And on Cyber Monday, go to PirateWear.com for 20% off your entire online purchase. UBE and PirateWear.com. Proud to serve the Pirate Nation for over 50 years.
With rates being historically low, now is the best time to buy or refinance your home. This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685-842. Equal housing lender.
Introducing new Domino's Carside Delivery. Now when you carry out, you don't even need to leave your car. So you don't have to interrupt your favorite song.
It's time to drive down to the rock show.
Or interrupt your kid's favorite song.
We'll be friends just for one.
You can interrupt this, actually.
Try Domino's Carside Delivery when you carry out 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each, and we'll carry out your order to your car contact-free. Carry out only. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, and charges may vary. Excludes XL and specialty pizzas. Crust availability varies by size. Message and data rates may apply when using Domino's Carside Delivery.
This is Coach Blake Harrell, defensive coordinator for East Carolina football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. Join us immediately after today's game between the Pirates and the Mustangs for the one and only US Cellular fifth quarter call-in show. Coach Rick Smith will be in the studio, and we'll be taking your calls on the Fixed NC Live line at 317-1250, plus reading your Facebook Live comments and your tweets at PR927FM. When the fourth quarter ends, it's the U.S. Cellular fifth quarter call-in show right here on the Voice of the Pirate Nation. Now let's head back into the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Here's your host, Clip Barak.
Oh, man. When you heard this on Sunday nights, you knew it was about to go down. Well, Game of Thrones, as Shirley Rhodes is breaking out the TV themes on today's program.
We've had quite a few.
And we've gone through the years. We've had recents. We've had back in the 80s.
70s.
90s.
90s. We've gone even further back. I think I threw one in there from the 60s somewhere. So
we're hitting all sorts of eras. Brian North joins us on the Fixed NC Live line. Brian, long time no chat. How you been, man?
You know what's weird is like when you guys call me now, it comes. So I don't know what's going on there at Pirate Radio, but you're spam now.
And now your phone is like, you sound like you're underwater.
Oh,
I mean, this is perfect, right? Can we wait? Is he any better, Brian? Can you?
Let me try now. How about let me try out the front door?
Nah, I'm thinking we just got a bad connection or something.
Story of my life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian, I'll call you right back.
Yeah, try him back real quick,
Okay.
Shirley. Let's see if we can hook up with Brian. All right, boy, that par for the course there, as we have had issues getting up with Brian North. All right, ECU, SMU at noon once again. Boy, we had a ton of breaking news the last hour last week when ECU took on the Owls of Temple. And this week, our news is, according to Stephen Igo, Rajay Harris not on the field during warm-up. So looks like it'll be a lot of Keaton Mitchell, a lot of Darius Penix, and a lot of Brian North, who rejoins us on the fixed line. Hello, Brian.
It's been 2020, it's just phone's crap. You guys come up as spam when you call. It's just, who knows?
I don't know what's happening, but we'll just go with it for a few minutes here. Brian, we're playing TV themes. What's your, and I don't think you're a huge TV guy, but what is your all-time favorite television program?
Oh, all-time favorite television program. I mean, Seinfeld has to rank up there. It's still timeless, and the humor just still gets me to this day. You can never go wrong with Andy Griffith. That's another timeless one that's just wholesome and great messages. And even though it's always the all-time great trivia, no one on that show is married except for Otis, and he's the drunk who's always trying to get away and hide in the jail on the weekend. So,
wow, have not thought of that. Interesting, interesting tidbit from Brian North. Pirates and Ponies. It was a shootout last year. Can ECU's offense play well enough? Can the passing game get going enough for it to be a shootout this year?
I mean, I don't see why not. Playing at home, they always seem to play just a little bit better offensively, even though you're not going to have the big crowds. But I think at this point in the year, you haven't had too many big injuries, and so I would think offensively they should be clicking going to this last game. So why not? Let's see a lot of points on the board today in your last game. Go into the off season with some good feelings on offense, and so yeah, I can see a scenario where they put up a lot of points today.
It has been a struggle in the passing game. Hopefully, that can get clicking the way it did last year when these two teams met. Defensively, Brian, I think you're going to see another aggressive effort from Blake Harrell. Buechele had way too much time to throw the football last year. I think the Pirates go after him today and take some chances. You give up 59 not playing aggressive last year. See what happens when you play aggressive, right?
Right, and I think on the flip side, they've had a season now of getting his defense under their belt, getting some players who just haven't had a lot of the good experience, who are now kind of know more of what he's expecting. So why not try to open things up here in your last game and do some things that people haven't seen before that you can work on in the off season? And so again, you may get burned a couple times doing that. The secondary has had its issues, but you might as well try some things to get some pressure on the quarterback and create some turnovers and create some negative plays. And I think your last game, why not bring it all out? Anything that you haven't shown so far.
Brian, your lovely daughter have a nice Thanksgiving?
Yeah, she ate pretty good, and we went and saw Santa Claus today.
Oh. With
Terrace number 2 getting close to entering the world, so we're staying kind of close to home with things. But it was a good Thanksgiving and a good visit with Santa Claus today.
Awesome, good stuff. Well, Brian, get back to the.
Now she's grumpy, and obviously we've got some bubbles here that don't work, and she just they stink, and then she runs off and cries. So.
Oh man, well, one of those things. North, good to hear from you, man. We'll keep in touch. Talk to you again soon. Appreciate you joining us, man.
All right, sounds good, Clippy. Great to hear your voice. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving, and hope you have great holidays going forward.
Yes, sir. You do the same. There is Brian North joining us on the Fixed NC Live line, underwater.
Live from the fish tank in the Pirate Radio lobby,
and with the fam. So, but it was good to hear from Brian North. Got more breaking news. Jeff Nadeau likes the over in Boise State, San Jose State. He'll have to wait on that one because it was just put out by the Mountain West Conference. It says, due to an upward trend of COVID-19 cases and contact tracing within the Boise State program, they are unable to participate in today's game against San Jose State. It will be a no contest, no reschedule. Game is canceled.
We all season long we've seen postponements and cancellations. The past couple of weeks, starting last week, we're starting to see that on game day.
Yep.
So, I mean, with conference championships coming up, that's kind of a concern. But, that's been the trend the past couple of weeks. Cancellations and postponements on the day of the game.
And, what if they do try to play bowl games? And you've got teams traveling to places, and then they come out the day before or the day of the game and say, oh, this bowl game will not be played. It is canceled. I mean, you're right. It at first, it was like, okay, if you get to Wednesday or Thursday, you're good.
Yep.
That is not the case anymore, as we have seen these last couple of weeks. So
It looks like we're going to get some football in at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium, so that is a good thing. And when we return, we will come back and make some fantasy picks for this game and give our final thoughts on ECU and SMU. That's on the way on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. We're back with you after this.
Hidden phone trade-ins, hidden plan requirements, hidden catches. You won't find any of those at US Cellular because we do things differently. And that means you can get the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE or Google Pixel 5 for free with no hidden requirements all season long. US Cellular. Upgrade to fair. Terms and conditions apply. See store.uscellular.com for details.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for US Cellular since 1997. Visit atlanticwireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
You know texting while driving is dangerous. That's not new information. Yet most people admit to doing it anyway. Drivers are 23 times more likely to be involved in a car accident while texting. Know the facts and wait to text. The danger is real and it applies to you. Auto Owners Insurance. The no problem people. Information provided by Virginia Tech Transportation Institute.
This is Jeff Gibson with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Cadillac. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, save over $15,000 off on all new 2020 Cadillac Escalades. Remember, Brown & Wood is the home for the lifetime powertrain warranty for all makes and models.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
This is Dr. Anthony Scalick from Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center of Greenville. We offer a variety of services including arthroscopic surgery, sports medicine, carpal tunnel surgery, general orthopedics, fracture care, total joint replacement, physical therapy, and on-site MRIs. For experienced and professional medical care, visit our office on W.H. Smith Boulevard in Greenville and online at orthoeast.com. Orthopedics East, providing services to ECU and Pitt County athletics for over 35 years. Go Pirates!
Ahoy, mateys! To keep those cars clean, you need the Pirates Cove Fast Pass.
The new Pirates Cove Car Wash and Haviland Express Lube on Glen Burnie Road in New Bern is now open. Pirates Cove in New Bern is offering Fast Passes for $9.99 for new Fast Pass customers. You can visit us in Greenville on Fire Tower Road, Memorial Drive, and on East 10th Street. And have you heard? Pirates Cove on Fire Tower Road is now offering interior cleaning.
So we have you surrounded. Pirates Cove, the official car wash partner of ECU Athletics.
Hi, this is Scott Muller with Clean Eats. Carol and I would like to personally thank all of you for supporting Clean Eats so well through these tough times. We are blessed to have such a great community helping us weather the storm. If you're having trouble consistently eating healthy, go to cleaneats.com and click on meal plans and give our tasty and affordable meals a try. Or stop by the cafe for lunch and let us show you just how simple and easy it is to get started and stay on track. Clean Eats, it's a lifestyle. 805 Red Banks Road, Arlington Village.
This is former ECU football player Bryce Williams, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Watch all of Pirate Radio's local programming on YouTube Live. Go to YouTube and search for Pirate Radio TV and subscribe today. Watch Pirate Radio Live Monday through Friday from 3 until 6 p.m. and the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate and the US Cellular fifth quarter on game days. Just go to YouTube and search Pirate Radio TV and subscribe. Now let's head back in to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate. I made it all the way to the last damn break. Here you go, Clip.
Surely,
take it away.
Maybe top 5 iconic theme songs?
Absolutely. Like, no matter how old you are, I guarantee you have heard this theme song and know exactly where it comes from.
When you hear that whistling, you know right away. All right, so there's a question on whether or not,
if you're a senior this year, do you return and play again in 2021 as a senior? Stephen Igo has put out that ECU is honoring the following players who will be playing their final game today. And that list includes one name that I didn't want to see because I thought there was a chance he could come back next year. That's defensive end Chris Willis, who was on that list. But also Trace Christian, Robert Hill, Caden Norman, Deontay Smith, who will be playing in the Senior Bowl, Michael Tilley, and Honore Varner. Can't say I know who that Pirate is, the safety, Varner. So that is the list of the players ECU is honoring playing their final game today. So if a senior is not on that list, there is a shot that he could be returning as a Pirate in 2021. So something to keep an eye out for there. All right, so guys, we got one final fantasy pick-off here. I just told Chandler during the break that it's a shame that ECU's not playing hoops today. It would have been fun to pick a football and a basketball player, but unable to do that because the Pirates will not be taking on Belmont Abbey.
The women are playing tomorrow. They're playing Virginia in Charlottesville.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
All right. Good
I'm just
luck.
putting that out there.
Yeah. Still bummed they lost that first game.
Yeah, they had plenty of opportunities, but unfortunately, if you're only shooting 36% and the team that you're playing against is shooting 50%, it's tough to win a basketball game when you're shooting that poorly. And they just had a lot of extended minutes where they couldn't drain a bucket. They went 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes.
And hopefully Monk is in action tomorrow.
Hopefully, yes.
All right, Chandler takes LaShonda Monk. I, too, will take LaShonda Monk.
I'm taking Tanaya Thompson.
Okay. All right, let's do the football picks for today. And
who won last week? Do we know? Do you remember?
None of us had Sneed.
I had CJ. I know he scored a
touchdown.
touchdown.
He had a touchdown.
He had Ricky Prohl.
Oh, wow. Well, I had Blake Prohl then.
Damn it. I did it again. I told you I will call him Ricky Prohl probably for the rest of my life. I just cannot get his name out of my Blake Prohl.
I think I had Rajay, so I didn't win. So probably you, if you had CJ.
Yeah, because I remember none of us picked Tyler Sneed, and he just had a monster game. So.
All right, so last year, Pirates were able to run the ball with Tay Williams. He's not on the team. Demetrius Mooney could play a little more today if Rajay Harris is out of the lineup. He had a decent game last year. Also, in this game last year, C.J. Johnson did not play, so it was a lot of Sneed. It was Samoa Tosho. It was Josiah Hatfield. Had a good game as well.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
So how about this year? Who has the big game for the Pirates?
Oh, you want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. That's going to be tough.
Please take your time.
I'm going to go with Tyler.
All right. I mean, why not? He had.
He's been Mr. Consistent
last game.
Yeah, I mean, he's been the most consistent receiver we've got. So.
And you get those special teams points, which
yes, sir.
would have been a winner last week.
I'll take those two.
All right, Chandler, who do you got?
You go ahead and make your pick.
I'm going to take Keaton Mitchell. It'd be fun to have the freshman running back, and hopefully he can get loose in a defense that honestly does not scare me.
Well, CJ was absent in this game last year. He's going to be present in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Go CJ, go.
All right, there are the picks. Good luck to you and to myself.
And to you.
Been a fun year on the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Thanks to Parker's Barbecue all season long, because man, they have hooked us up with some awesome pregame food. Once again, chicken sandwiches, barbecue sandwiches, sides, the sweet tea. You can go to parkersbbq.com. You can call Parker's and ask about their delivery options, or drop by one of their 3 locations in Greenville and place your order today. They got big groups, small groups, catering. They got it all at Parker's Barbecue. Thanks to all of our guests who were on the program all year long as well. Jeff Charles, Brian Bailey, Billy Weaver, Brian North, Troy D., Jeff Nadeau, Ronnie Woodward, Stephen Igo, David Glenn. Thanks to all the folks that chimed in via Facebook Live and Twitter on the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate all year long as well. And did I leave anybody out?
Corey Glore was on the show like earlier in the year.
Man, don't really care about
that. Yeah, whatever.
Just kidding, Corey. Corey Glore did a great job filling in on Pirate Radio Live. Looking forward to being back with you on Pirate Radio Live coming up Monday at 3 o'clock. Brian Bailey Show Monday at noon. But we got one more US Cellular 5th quarter call-in show before we get out of here for 2020. So we'll be with you after the game. The crew here, Rick Smith, taking your calls. Shirley's going to have a very busy scoreboard because not only do we have college football, we got college hoops as well. So we'll keep you up to date on everything going on all across the nation in college athletics. All right. Until we see you after the game on the US Cellular 5th quarter call-in show, I am Cliff Brock. Have a happy game day. So long, everybody.
You've been listening to the Bud Light Pregame Tailgate, powered by Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates. Stay tuned and join us after the game for a complete recap and your phone calls on the US Cellular 5th quarter